West in the elimination final. Crowd of about 20,000. Fellows against Micken. Micken gets the first tap away. In towards Buckley, who can't pick it up. Put further forward there by West Adelaide's Mellor in towards the half-forward flank. Out comes Bartz, gives it away now to Fitzsimmons. Tried the short pass. Fiarchi intercepts and boots Port Adelaide out of defence. Out towards centre wing. Coming across the middle is Linda. Oh, gee, he laid for Port Adelaide. Far to rest. I'm not sure whether it's Brown or whatever. Williams is in. A yoink is on. Mark Williams is not happy. Linda appeared to take him out fairly. Port Adelaide players running from everywhere. And it's on in the elimination final. John Robinson.
Well, it certainly is, Ian. There's no doubt about that. That was a hard hit. There's no saying anything else. It was David Brown that went down, but it looked to be fair to me.
Magpies into attack. Free kick. Advantage paid. Setri, open goal. And the account to the Magpies. David Brown's down at centre wing, but Setri opens the account. They lead by 6 points. A fiery opening in the knockout elimination final. A minute of play in the first quarter.
I think knockout's the operative word there, David.
Adrian Setri putting that first goal on the board. It's 2 Port Adelaide. They've reacted in the right way, very positively to what happened back there to Brown. We'll have to see it on replay, but it looked pretty fair. It was hard, but it was fair by Bruce Linda.
So the Magpies with the breeze lead by 6 points. Micken gets the tap down. In there, Smallridge. His kick was smothered. Good fist from Mellor to half forward. Through storms Greg Phillips. Jennifer concedes ground back to Fiarchi, who knocks a kick to the outer side centre wing. Here's Brian Winton. Creative hand pass to Grosser. Chip pass into space. Mellor breaks. And he marks across half forward. Exciting youngster Greg Mellor. And he's the best part of 50 metres out. Against the breeze. Long kick, and that's a 50-metre penalty. Well, umpire Abbott certainly trying to assert his authority, and that was technical to say the least.
It certainly was, but it's going to be the side now that settles down. Port Adelaide did the right thing after Brown got decked at centre wing. They went straight in and kicked a goal, but now it's West Adelaide's chance to get one back through Mellor. Unfortunately, a 50-metre penalty, a bit soft perhaps, but should be no problem.
I agree, John. It is soft in as much that there was no harm to the player who kicked the ball. He wasn't in any way impeded, and the umpire simply took his authority to the nth degree. A goal to West Adelaide, a handy one, it evens up the ball game.
Well, as you say, very interesting. It appeared to be very soft, but Greg Mellor has the goal on the board. He is an exciting young player, as David Bashir mentioned just moments ago, and very much a creative player in the forward line. Here's the incident we're going to have a look at here. Back on the centre wing, you can see Linda went through very hard. He collected Brown, who didn't see him coming. That looked fair, but it was pretty hard, but it looked fair to me, Ian.
Certainly was. Good, tough football. Port Adelaide reacted in the right way because, as you said, they got up and kicked a goal. At the bounce, it's Micken against Fellows. There's an infringement in the centre square. Port Adelaide had too many players in the square. Micken to take the free kick. Gets it out now towards Winton from centre wing. Goes long in towards the half-forward, looking there for Bart. Out comes a big fellow there in Rosonico. Can't get the ball out. Players stack up and the umpire will come in and bounce. The umpires this afternoon are Laurie Argent and Michael Abbott, two of the most experienced umpires in South Australia. In fact, they've both had AFL games this season, so obviously they're our top men in white. A goal to both teams, crowd building, and by the time we get the supporters in of the second game this afternoon between North Adelaide and the Eagles, I think you'll find that we're getting up over around 25 people, which will be excellent. Ball farmed out, Rosonico slips it back to Geneva. He in turn goes out wide, Forster. Now Brown's in the hot seat again. Oh, he's taken out again. He's having a shocking afternoon. He's down. In they go again. Smallridge out. It's on again. Hutton in against Simpson. Oh, gee, it's tough out there.
Well, there we see it in replay. Brown had the head down. The player came in. It was with the hip.
Well, there's no doubt that David Brown is groggy even before he attacked that ball. Smallridge in defence. Here's Hutton, opposed there to Carlson, and it's out of play. Well, if he's slightly concussed, he should be off the ground.
Certainly should be, but it's an elimination final. It's hard. One side is going to finish their season with 91 after this game. It's hard stuff out there.
Well, John, that's what the interchange player is for. Now, John Cale could interchange him. He can come into the bunker. The doctor can analyse the boy and just see if his faculties are there. If he's okay, let him back on the turf.
Boundary throw in attack for the Blood. Simpson, centering kick. On the lead is Fitzsimmons. Now that was fortuitous to say the least. Off the side of the boot and Shane Fitzsimmons into the space.
It was very much your opportunist half forward. Is Shane Fitzsimmons. Had a big weekend last week when he kicked 5 goals. And, well, he's going to be a big danger for Port Adelaide. They're going to have to watch him very closely.
He'll shoot from 40 metres out, directly in front. Against the breeze. Good-looking kick. He timed it beautifully. And the Bloods hit the front. They kick their second. West Adelaide lead by 6 points at the 6-minute mark.
Well, it's hard and it's tough football. It's the side that settles and keeps their mind on the job. There we see Simpson coming around. Ball off the side of the boot a bit, but running to the space was Fitzsimmons. And he is a real opportunist half forward. 5 last week against Sturt. That's his first today. One of the danger men that Port are going to have to watch very closely.
Ideal conditions for football. Once again, an infringement, centre square. This time it goes to Port Adelaide. Fellows kicks long into attack, up towards full forward. Getting back on the ball is Mark Williams. Can't bring it down. Forced out towards Smith. He throws it away. In defence, it's Schumann. Gets it out wide. Stephen Williams makes a metre. Wants to play on. He'll do so. Centres the ball. Well done. Finds Fellows. Ginniver the running player. 40 metres. Gives it a chance. Puts it up. Close. Or it could be touched right on the line. In fact, I think it was on the wrong side of the aluminium and 1 point only. And that's West's first error. They are 1-1. West is 2 goals.
Good build-up by the Port Adelaide side. Good vision by Mark Williams to Stephen Williams to see the players inside, but just offline.
Goss to the far side in the path of Simpson. Needs a set. Awkward bounce, but gathers on the second attempt. Pulls it back to centre wing, but Nathan Buckley in the way. An exciting youngster. Only a handful of senior games. Good depth of the kick to inside 50. Now a West player was shoved out. Glenn Goss. So the free kick. Bloods lead by 5 points. In fact, the free kick will go back to Goss, who redirects to the grandstand side. Fitzsimmons the mark. He's got a player out wide and Lindner draws the player. Bruce was caught underneath the ball. Off the left boot, gets the Bronx cheers. The centre wing. Great balance shown by Mellor. Kicks to inside 50. Barch. Good fist. A good centre wing fist. But Delaney, the attempted soccer off the ground, ends up with Carlson. Hurry kick under pressure. Into the pocket. Outstorms Rosonico. Also there Modra. In defence Phillips. And he was under immense pressure. And the hand pass showed.
Yes, he certainly was, the big fella, playing game number 300 today for the Port Adelaide Magpies. What an effort from him, and he'll be looking for a win out here today.
Barch against Fellows. Beautifully done to Fitzsimmons. And the kick is a shot.
Oh, dear.
You could not get a better palm back than that. Fitzsimmons, point-blank range, open goal, and the kick went out on the full.
And normally the absolute opportunist, we mentioned that just a while ago, he's kicked one already, and he'll be kicking himself about that one.
Dead right. Rosonico. 2 goals to 1-1. Port won the toss, kicking with the breeze, worth a couple. Mecken in the hands of a physiotherapist as late as Friday for a pulled hamstring.
Mark Mecken's ability to mark around the ground could be telling today, Ian.
Dead right, puts it up now to full forward. Barch is up there. The ball comes to ground. Phillips out wide with an ordinary looking kick. Smallridge will be first there. Looks for a runner, can't find one, goes long. Half forward line and Danny Hughes. Hughes against Winton. Should be a tough battle out there as Hughes plays on quickly, drives in long up towards the lead. Oh, gee, someone went down in a hurry. That was Harris. Back in defence, it's Kennedy. And now Patterson, and Port Adelaide on the half-back line thump the ball clear.
Out of side, here's Gribble. In fact, the player is Schumann. Ducks the head, did that beautifully. Now he sets up Carlson, good fist from Ginniver. Simpson at ground level, taken high with a tackle. So the former Brisbane Bear, the free kick, out of side centre wing. Used as an on-ball player or a tagger, take your pick to centre half forward. Out comes Mellor, spills wide to Smallridge. The runner is Foster, storming through centre. Big chance for the Magpies, good depth of the kick to full forward. Mark Williams from the side, and in defence Patterson rallies. Mark Williams, some heavy bodywork off the ball. Oh, and that was a slick decision. Well, I can't see that. Williams tackled immediately, and umpire Argent said holding the ball.
Well, it was a very quick one. Look at the determination of Williams. He's got him, held that arm, impeded him just long enough, but a little bit soft again, David. But Mark Williams has got the chance.
He'll shoot from 30 metres out. There's certainly no lack of body strength out there in the two sides. An opening hip and shoulder by Bruce Lindner on Brown set the scene. Mark Williams coming back nicely off the boot, and he threads it through. So the Magpies regain the lead. They lead by 1 point at the 10-minute mark.
Well, there's no doubt about Mark Williams. Dogged determination is the name of the game. Have a look at this. He hasn't given up the chase for a moment. They've tried to shepherd him out of it. Here he comes. Watch out. Pinned that right arm back, maybe just long enough to convince the umpire. Then he settled and with great experience popped it through for his first goal. The Magpies lead by a point.
At the bounce, it's Micken against Fellows again, who tried to grab the ball. Brown gave it back to Geneva. Coming to meet it was Goss or Winton. On the left leg, Smith goes in short. Williams got a shocker. Harris likewise. Or taking his eyes off the ball momentarily there was Hogg. He lost the run of the ball and it goes out of play. There's been some casual efforts in defence by both teams. The last one I felt cost West Adelaide a goal. 2-1 to 2 goals. Throw in. Full forward, left pocket. Port in attack. Over the top came Hughes. Setri has a shot, and I think he's got it. Oh, what a goal! That's his second, and Port Adelaide have got 3.
Oh, what an absolute goal there by Setri. That's a real Rovers goal. That's the ones you expect from them. They've got to pick him up. Have a look at the ruck work. Hughes tried to get it out the back. It came forward to Setri on the boot in an absolute flash, almost quicker than the eye could see. He's popped it through for a second. That is a real Rovers goal. Daisy, you'd know all about those.
Well, that's what you have to do from the forward pocket kick goals, but a fine tap by Hughes.
Well, Setri 2 kicks, 2 goals, and the Magpies out to a 7-point lead. They're head of centre for the Bloods, and a pack develops. Umpire Abbott across to separate play. Umpire Abbott and Argent in charge, 12 minutes first term. Big pack around the ball. Micken won the tap down northeast. A hurry kick to half forward. In front is Hughes, wrestling with Winton. Spills wide of the pack. Through storm Setri. Here's Carlson, one of the Bloods' chief possession gatherers, off the left boot. And he finds a teammate in Banfield. Grandstand centre wing. Sums up the options. The target, Micken. And the fist was late from Geneva. It was paid by the umpire. No one on the mark, so he plays on quickly to Carlson. From centre field. Darren Carlson to half forward. Fitzsimmons kept into the area. The pace of Kennedy storms away, runs to 40 and chips towards goal. But a poor kick. And Rosonico marks deep in defence.
It was promising build-up by the West Adelaide side, but Port Adelaide holding up pretty well in defence so far because there are a lot of scoring options up forward for West. Port Adelaide maybe got a bit of a problem that they haven't got some real strong set forwards.
The Magpies by 7 points. Phillips has to hold ground, but Man Mountain does it well. Out of the back pocket, smothered off the boot. Mellor, he's bundled out of play. Taken out by Foster, another throw-in. Inside the 50-metre mark, 13 minutes into the mothball final. It's elimination day for either Port Adelaide or West Adelaide. There is no more after this game. Fellows back in defence, gets the ball nicely out to Brown, who's been thumped from pillar to post. Can't control the football and is out of play once more, but this time on the half-forward left flank, almost up to centre wing.
The Magpies 3-1 lead. West Adelaide 2 goals, 12 points. So Port by 7 points, but West have done well against the breeze in the first quarter. Big fist coming from northeast, and it's forced out of play.
Interesting game in terms of experience today. 15 out of the 20 lining up for Port Adelaide have contested finals before. Only 3 for West Adelaide, and 2 of them, because of duties with the Crows, haven't played a lot of games with the West Adelaide side.
Here's one of them in Robbie McKinnon. Geneva was tackled. Ball loose, grandstand centre wing, and a push in the back to northeast. So he'll take the free kick. One of the 15 Robbo mentioned. Long kick to centre half forward. Smith in front. Big pack up. Setri beautifully read off hands. Through comes Mark Williams, bobbing and weaving. He's got some space. 40 metres out. What a kick. His second, Mark Williams. The Magpies further ahead. 4-1. West Adelaide 2 goals. 15 minutes first term.
Well, we mentioned experience and dogged determination from this man before. Have a look at the experience here. While all around are going crazy, he just kept his head. He was cool, he bobbed, he weaved. Nobody wanted him, but he wanted a goal, and he made sure of it for his Port Adelaide side, and they lead by 13.
That's the operative word, John. No one seemed to want to know Mark Williams No pressure put on him at all in the final summary. At the bounce, it's Fellows against Micken. Micken gets the tap away up towards the half-forward line. Coming through over there was Northeast. Kennedy ducks into it, slips it out. Looking there for Banfield. But I think the free kick is going the way of West Adelaide. Go to Byrne. He's almost at centre wing. Playing centre half forward, kicks in long. Up looking for Barch at the back of the pack. The ball comes to ground. Who's going to be in there first? Foster comes out with a football. Puts it back to Rosonico. Out wide is Brown, but he's smothered. Down they go. Simpson at the bottom of the pack. Oh, he picks up a free kick.
I think he's a little bit lucky, but I think there was one hand on the shoulder as he tried to spoil it. You couldn't quite pick it up there in the replay, but one hand on the shoulder, the fist over the top. Matthew Simpson's free kick.
From 40 metres into the slight breeze, kick 4. Coming back, but it won't come back enough. Left-hand side of the goal post. Takes West Adelaide now on to 2-1. Port Adelaide is 4-1.
This was Simpson with 4 kicks in the early part of this game. Is doing fairly well. He's picking up kicks and using the body pretty solidly on a couple of occasions.
So the Magpies by 12 points. Delaney finds Smith on the outer side. Well down from centre half forward. He kicks to open space. The target, Smallridge, takes it well on the bounce. Pulls it back to half forward. Or does he? No, it spills out of play. Adrian Setri, who's had 2 kicks for 2 goals. Same as Mark Williams, so that's pretty effective forward play by the 2 Magpies. 4-1 to 2-1 at the 17-minute mark of the first term. Hughes and Micken from the side. Mark Williams, his 3rd kick. Covers 10-15 metres in the path here of Setri. Also there's Schumann. And really it's been a tight defence all year for the Bloods.
It has, and Darren Schumann been a good member of it. Last week against Sturt, sheer dogged determination. He hardly lets his player get a touch. And you can see the sort of effort he's putting in there today.
In attack for the Magpies. Wrestled to the ground. There was Simpson, I think. And the bounce will occur. Umpire Argent and Abbott in charge this afternoon. The Magpies have the breeze in the first term. They currently lead by 12 points. Ruck work done by Harris. Big thump to the boundary line, and it's forced out of play once again.
Coach John Cowell looking on. His side's had an interesting season. They've struggled throughout the season, but putting it together slowly over the final 4 or 5 games. West Adelaide, on the other case, 9 out of their last 11 in the minor round, 28 goals last week. They're a side very much in form, brim full of confidence, as we see Mark Williams bundled over the line. But West Adelaide had a contrasting season. 3 out of the first 11 games, 9 out of the last 11, and they've built up beautifully. So it's going to be a really tight game as we progress.
Port, the finals experience, and they lead by 12 points. Blythe, who's used as a tagger, and that certainly couldn't be paid to the Magpies, but there was no subtlety involved, and it's out of play once again.
Big crowd, over 20,000 people. Certainly football hasn't finished for the season with the exit of the Crows. Oh, gee, there's a heap of players there. Mark Williams getting pulled high. I think he's going to get another free kick. Well, Mark Williams has the experience. He makes sure the umpires see these infringements. And perhaps the tackle wasn't all that high, but the way Mark went back, he made it fairly obvious. And that's excellent play by Port Adelaide's most experienced player. He's already booted 2. Obviously, he's going to be a very important player in Port Adelaide's forward division. It's his 4th kick. They've struggled on this division all year. Kick's not going to make the distance. Smith against him there is Goth. The ball actually hits the behind post, and that's out of play. Throw in the right forward pocket. The breeze going left to right. As I said, a crowd of up over 20,000 people. Good to see. And of course, we've still got supporters of the Eagles and North Adelaide streaming into the ground. Thumped away. Goss gets the run of it. Tries to beat the tackle. Great tackle, Mark Williams. He's going to get the ball out, or try to get it out. Well played, Micken. The kick is awkward. Stephen Williams caught by Hall. Running to the ground. Holding the ball. Little unlucky, but the free kick will go the way of Sean Blythe.
Well, what a great tackle by Sean Blythe. On him in a flash to the ground, and gee, you can't do it much better than that.
The grandstand centre wing. Diving attempt at a mark there by Fitzsimmons, and it spills out of play. So 4-1 playing 2-1. The Magpies lead.
There has been some very strong use of the body, some great tackling and some great efforts from individuals, particularly Mark Williams to this point. Determination, experience, it's all there.
Barch opposed to Fellows. Setri's in there, also Smallridge. Carlson emerges, long kick to half forward. Miller outnumbered 2-1. Good fist there from Foster, spills wide. Chance here for Simon Byrne. Loose ball wasn't gathered. The free kick wasn't paid either. Foster lays it off to Phillips. He's met heavily. Byrne comes through late. Hand pass more in hope than anything. Fiacci tackled, the pressure immense. Loose ball gathered by Kennedy. 20 metres out, draws the player. Well, it's set for Modra. Soccer and goal. His first. And West Adelaide kick their third. 3-1 plays 4-1.
Well, it doesn't matter how you get that ball going, just keep it rolling along. Look at him go in hard. Simon Byrne in there. Flicks the handball out Fiacci. It's a hot potato. The tackle was good by Mellor, restricted the arm use, but then the advantage was paid. Kennedy over the top, looked like it had gone a touch far, but it sat nicely for Modra, who didn't worry about the hands, just get it onto the boot. That's his first, and they get a bit closer.
Coach Morris has had a change. He's taken off a player and he's put Patterson up into the forward pocket. Interesting move, which we'll watch shortly. I think he took him off when he was disappointed when Mark Williams kicked that goal for a lazy passage of play. Whatever, Winton comes through. Winton now centre field, drives West Adelaide into attack. Up towards the half-forward line, Rosonico over the top, Modra. Phillips throws out a handball. Banfield's there. Setri goes down, Smallridge over the top. Byrne there as well. But the umpire will come in and bounce on the half-forward line.
It's tight and it's hard out there, Ian. It's going to be the side that survives this first quarter and then can get their minds back on the job and go for it, because it's tough out there.
Not wrong. Port Adelaide by a goal at the bounce. Fellows gets the tap away towards Phillips with strength. Left foot's one to the half-forward line. Bart's back in defence. In there was Port Adelaide player. Hughes got hit high. Kennedy with pace. Burns through centre wing. Kicks long. Up towards the full forward. Modra up over the top. Oh, what a big leap, but he left the football behind. Fitzsimmons at the bottom of the pack, and the umpire will come in and bounce.
Interesting, David. I think the centre line players of West Adelaide are already emerging as being possible winners. Carlson and Kennedy on the wings, and Simpson in the middle, picking up a lot of touches.
And Tony Modra quite noticeably loosening up at full forward. Could be exciting. Blythe at right half forward, knocks it out wide. Here's Kennedy, tackled well by Buckley. Two exciting youngsters, and it spills out of play. There's a free kick foul. John Carl's, well, he's out of the bunker, barking out instructions. And Nathan Buckley, the free kick, the outer side half back flank. Long kick to centre wing. Behind the pack, chance there for Gost. Fisted clear. Loose ball. Brown taps it back towards Stephen Williams. Great commitment by Stephen Williams. Tackled by Blythe. And all commitment from all players there. And the bounce on the outer side centre wing.
As I mentioned, David, the West Adelaide centre line emerging as picking up a lot of touches. In fact, they've had 12 effective disposals at this stage compared to their counterparts 5. So that's an area the Port are going to have to watch. Simpson
fisted clear to Fitzsimmons. Kicks around the body to centre field. Phillips stands his ground. A lot of strength in that player. 300th senior game for the Magpies. Kicks to inside 50. And it fell in the arms of Darren Smith. A floating kick. And Smith in front, the place to be. With the breeze, the distance won't be a problem. His third kick coming up, Darren Smith. Back from injury last week, and a much-needed player in the Magpies forward line. Lead by 6 points. This is to extend the lead. He kicks from right on 50. Didn't quite time it. May have the carry. Touch right on the line. In defence is Schumann. Clearing kick. Here's Carlson inside his defensive 50. He was pushed off it, and it just stays in the bounds of play. Robbing McKinnon in pretty hard, and it rolls out.
It's Darren Carlson, the biggest kick winner for West Adelaide throughout the year. Some 400 kicks now, and he's had about 5 today, so doing a great job.
Barch having a run on the ball for West Adelaide. Back towards Brown, who seems to recover, and the ball out of play once more. 24 minutes into the elimination final. It's Port Adelaide by 6 points.
The breeze out there, Ian's probably worth a couple at least, so West Adelaide not a bad quarter against it.
Certainly. Barch against Hughes, who's doing the ruck in the forward work. Banfield towards the line. Again, the body of Setri comes in, and once more is out of play. Port Adelaide 4-1, West Adelaide 3-1. Excellent start by Mark Williams in the forward division. Port Adelaide have been struggling, and he's just given them another dimension there with his ability to pick up those kicks. Going through strongly and doing it well was Fitzsimmons, but that could be out on the full. No, touched, and another throw in on the half-forward right flank. Port Adelaide in attack.
Well, pretty tight stuff. A lot of smothering, a lot of hard body work. All players working hard in this first term to try and get some sort of ascendancy or to stop the other side. So it's typical elimination final stuff.
And the clock kicks down to 25 minutes in this first term. Out of play on the full. So the free kick in defence to Bruce Lindner, who may be playing across half-back. Generally a pretty long kick. Drop punt to centre wing. In late was Byrne. Fister clears. Simpson, good effective hand pass to Banfield and turn to Patterson. The Bloods on the break through Winton. Spears the pass into half forward. Through Storms winning, backing up the play. Also there Brown, who was tackled without the ball, pulled off it. So David Brown, the free kick at half-back.
And well done, David Brown. He certainly survived a fair bit of buffeting that he's had in this first term on a couple of occasions, so well done by him.
Delaney on hands and knees, out towards Phillips and turn Rosonico to Foster. Fiacci, now Port Adelaide on the burst. They run through centre wing. 2 bounces for George. Well, he was taken high, and he thought about playing on too.
Well, there's no doubt about these back pocket players. They get within sight of goal and they won't have a go at it. It was a high tackle. And he waited for the whistle to blow. He was almost pleading with the umpire. Now a chance to put them further from about 55 metres.
Left half forward, Fiacci. A centering kick. Stephen Williams in front. Behind was Blythe. Loose ball in defence. The Bloods rally. That player is Lindner. Pretty ambitious stuff. Hand pass slung out of the pack. Chance here for Simpson. Out wide, he picks out Carlson on the bounce. Darren Carlson trying to steady the ship. Good foot pass. In front was McKinnon. Through Storms dropping McKinnon again. Also there Carlson, desperate play in defence for the Bloods. Bodies crash in hard. In the end is Hutton, can't get his kick clear. Carlson out towards Kennedy. The 2 wingmen combined. Kennedy left boot to grandstand centre wing. Phillips in late. Also there northeast, Mellor needs support. Foster gets it in the form of Smallridge. At close quarters, here's northeast to half forward. Loose ball for the taking. Bart's there in defence with a free kick to the Bloods. And it goes to Dean Schumann.
Schumann from the back pocket takes a chance, goes across field, comes off. Goss. Oh, Williams runs him down. The handball away is not good. Hogg's going to have to work hard. Lindner it is. Gets the ball out. Goss through the pack. In comes Brown, but it's taken away by Winton. Hooks around the corner. Oh, Grosser runs through the Port Adelaide defence. Gets out the long handball. Here's a chance. Out wide it's Fitzsimmons. 40 metres out. Gives it a chance. Umpire said it's offline for a point. Oh, but what a beautiful attacking handball then by Grosser. Came unstuck when Fitzsimmons couldn't make the grade.
So Port lead by 5 points, I should say. Approaching quarter time. Free kick in defence. That player is Nathan Buckley on the far side of the ground. Late attack there by Fitzsimmons, who's kicked a goal, but Buckley outer side half-back flank. Picks out Darren Smith. So the Magpies on the burst. Now Brown needs a sit. He has to sit and wait. Banfield bears down. Good tackle applied by Peter Banfield. Hand pass effective to Kennedy. Back in the direction of Winton. In turn here's Banfield. Good method out of defence. Kick was too much carry there for Blythe. Carlson mops up. Out wide. Little loose the hand pass towards Schumann. He's good enough to recover off the left boot. He tries to pick out McKinnon, but it's out of play on the full. So a header centre, the free kick to Paul Northeast.
Close to quarter time in the elimination final. The kicks are set up. With a Port Adelaide player, plays to advantage. Setri puts it up for grabs. Williams up there. Hogg, but getting back Barts. Fine mark. The big fellow had the strength. He had the height. Dropping back a kick behind the play. Took a fine defensive mark. Well, the edge out's not good. Grosser had the half volley. Gets it across to Blythe in turn. Slick handball. Castle runs through. He'll get the set up. Gives it to Banfield. Banfield comes back in now to Simpson. West Adelaide run the ball through their half forward line in towards Modra. Patterson it is. Modra was out on the other side. Patterson into the left full forward pocket, and that's beautifully put. 35, 40 metres out. Had a spell in the bunker. Now playing in the forward pocket. Cute angle. Nice looking kick. That's going to come back with a breeze. That is close. That is marked right on the line by fellows. Fine save. Gives it to Delaney. And Port Adelaide come out of defence.
Delaney draws the player. Northeast. Running away from his defensive 50 to Ginniver. Long kick by Tim Ginniver, but poor vision. Lindner spilt the mark, play on the call. Good umpiring. Sean Blythe, centering hand pass. Barch, he'll be met there by Hughes. Good tackle by Danny Hughes. And on the siren, time ran out there for the Magpies, but they hold the lead at quarter time in the knockout elimination final. Port Adelaide 4-1-25, West Adelaide 3-2-20. Second term underway here at Football Park in the elimination final. And West have the chance now to use the breeze. Barch opposed there to Harris now on the ruck. Kick around the body there by Grosser to half forward. Miller, what a mark. Well, he started brightly, sweeps the hand pass out towards Simpson, creating the loose men. Banfield, 40 metres out, usually pretty good, and he kicks the goal to start the second term. The Bloods hit the front with his third kick. Peter Banfield kicks his first goal.
Well, great work by West Adelaide. This is a hallmark of the second half of 1991 for them. Look at the effort of Mello to start with. And in a trice, he's just got that ball out to the running Simpson. And that's good footy. They've got the confidence to use each other on the Banfield. He turned, and with his third kick from about 40, 45 metres, popped it through. That's a great start. They're running with the breeze in this term, Daisy. So, gee, they'll be looking forward for a big quarter.
Well, as you said earlier, John, they had an excellent first quarter into the breeze. Now it's the moment of truth. Interestingly enough, Port Adelaide have got Ben Harris having a run in ruck. I'm looking for Fellows, whether he's in the bunker or he's down at full forward. That's where he is. At the bounce, it's Micken against Harris. Micken gets the tap away. Quickly now onto the foot of Sean Blythe. The kick is not good. Northeast can't control it. Beautifully done. Banfield gets it over to Miller. Up Delaney. Up towards full forward. Modra came to meet it, but the kick was too far. Delaney sets up Smallridge over the top. Thumps McKinnon. Sends the ball to the line for a throw-in on the half-forward right flank. Well, that's the sort of pass you don't want. Normally you finish up in the RAH. A throw-in just outside the 50-metre line. West Adelaide by a point. Tap Clapperly down, Ginniver through. Floats one back towards Micken, who's going to have to make a metre. The big fellow did it well. He half-volleyed it, but then couldn't get it clear, and it's a throw-in at centre wing.
I see this is a very important quarter, the way the West Adelaide have opened and just the way they're emerging towards the end of that first term. They're getting that run and that confidence each other going. I think Port Adelaide have to be wary for the rest of this term.
Bloods by 1 point. Ginniver from defence. High kick to half forward. The target was Smith. Good fist away there from Goss. Bad bounce for Grosser, but a good one for Darren Smith. Pulls it back with the left boot. But Dean Schumann in the way. In defence. His sixth kick. Effective defender Dean Schumann. Pops it up for the breeze to half forward. Simpson from behind. Phillips. Hand pass and he looked to the boundary line. Nearly clean bowled our cameraman down there in John Gardner, who I think is okay. West 4-2-26. Port Adelaide 4-1-25.
Phillips has got a hand like a foot. I reckon that should be out of bounds on the full.
Here's Simpson. Good creative hand pass to Grosser. Pulls it around the body, looking for Patterson, but behind the pack there was Fiacci. The chance to rebound. Poor kick by George Fiacci. Buckley in the way. Harassing there was Simpson. Also there Kennedy. Spills wide to Brown. Awkward kick to half forward, but again Schumann. So that's his 7th kick coming up.
A fine young player is Schumann. Defended well last week and has been a real cog in that tight West Adelaide defence over the second half of 91.
Schumann from the check side of the centre line up towards the half-forward line. Loose ball, northeast, Ginniver. The running player is Foster off the half-back line. Tumbles one around the corner. Big mark, Micken slips it over to Kennedy. Wasn't all that a flash of handball. Grosser just keeps it in play, or does he? The handball is not, and Fitzsimmons watches it go out. Definitely Grosser was out of play, but the umpire right in the position to indicate that the ball was still in play. Throw in half forward right flank. Just outside the 50. West Adelaide still by a point. Tight game. Simpson puts out the long handball. Smallridge. Oh, great smother. Here's a chance. Banfield through. Slips out the handball. Simpson runs into a dead heat. Now Patterson looking back for Banfield. Puts it out. Grosser. Smallridge going to have to work hard. He goes for the safety of the line. Good play, Gary Smallridge. He was under pressure, knew where the line was and put it out very, very surreptitiously.
Well, it was good play all around, Ian. West Adelaide trying to keep the ball alive, as you can see, but then finally the strong tackle by Grosser and Smallridge and the ball out of bounds. Great defence, trying to keep the ball alive by West. Good footy.
Patterson, outside 50, pulls it back. Now Miller the target. He had to contend with two Magpie defenders. Ball script out wide to Delaney. In turn, Rosonico, who's had a good latter part of the season, Paul Rosonico, to the outer side centre wing. The fist was effective from Schumann. Now here's a chance for Banfield. He's got some space. Hutton bears down. Banfield needs support. Gets it in the form of Carlson. Darren Carlson pulls it back off the left boot. Phillips lost his balance. He's under pressure in defence. Chance there for Modra. Snap around the body. What a goal! Tony Modra, his second. In the same motion. 5-2-32 West Adelaide. Port Adelaide 4-1-25.
Well, a 7-point lead to West Adelaide now set up. You see Carlson, after strong work by West across the centre. Phillips couldn't hang on. Patterson sweats on him, puts the tackle on, trapped there by the foot firstly by Modra, picks it up around the corner, hardly had time to have a look. What a great goal. The Bloods lead by 7 points.
5 minutes into the second quarter, it's Harris once again against Micken, who again gets the tap. Fitzsimmons to Banfield. Banfield's long kick up towards full forward. Delaney there. Fiacci in support. Comes out well, puts it out wide. The lead is on towards the half-back line there from Nathan Buckley. Yes, Nathan Buckley it is, and the ball beats him out of play.
The danger sign still exists for the Port Adelaide defenders there. West Adelaide getting the ball consistently out of the centre at the start of this second term after having a slight edge in the first, but bodies up around the ball, keeping it alive.
Kennedy trying to get it back to Simpson. Jennifer on top of the football, and the umpire will come in and ball it up once more. 4-1 to 5-2. West Adelaide with a slender 7-point lead. The game has been tough. Exciting football. A little bit of drama at the opening. We had a fight, but players seem to have settled down in the elimination final. Fiacci, Foster, the running player is Brown, did well. Smallridge, Micken across, taps it over now to Simpson, not Simpson. Blythe got caught. In goes Smallridge again. Jets hard to get a kick out there. And once again, the umpire will come and ball it up in the big centre square.
So the Bloods lead by 7 points at the 7-minute mark of the second term. Ahead of centre the bounce for West Adelaide. Umpire Michael Abbott with the ball. As mentioned previously, both umpires have officiated at AFL level this year. Here's McKinnon, a tough, hardened finals campaigner. Carlson tackle. Over the ball, Jennifer. And again, the umpire to separate play.
Well, it is tough and it is hard out there, guys. There's no doubt about that. The ball's not moving rapidly to any part of this ground. There's lots of bodies there. They're going in hard. The side that is going to be able to break away from those shackles and get the running game going is going to have an edge.
Kennedy up to half forward. Mellor stands his ground, and he did that very effectively. Drew the player under the ball and then just doubled back and took the mark easily.
Well, he's taken several very clever ones there, and in that occasion it was keeping the eyes right on the ball.
His third mark, Greg Mellor, and he's generally a pretty balanced and effective kick for goal. He'll shoot from right on 50. The breeze at his back. The Bloods lead by 7 points. A chance to extend their lead. He puts it up for the breeze. He's timed it beautifully. His second goal, Greg Mellor. He opened the account for the Bloods in the first term. West Adelaide moved to 6-2, Port 4-1.
Greg Mellor is having an interesting day out there today. He's had 5 kicks to register now his 2 goals, but some interesting marks he's taken. Running with the flight of the ball, keeping the eyes on it all the way, and that good kick from just inside the 50-metre mark, aided by the breeze. And they're the sorts of goals that you have to keep kicking when you've got a chance. And the Bloods are opening up a tidy lead, but they've got that edge in this quarter so far, Ian.
Certainly have. Oh, Micken gets the edge all right with a huge thump. McKinnon in there now is Brown, or is it Smallridge? Both with their long hair. Smallridge it is. Fellows back in ruck for Port Adelaide. And they haven't kicked a goal since the 14-minute mark of the first quarter. So in all, that's over 25 minutes of play since they've got their last goal. Mark Williams got it. Setri is in there, little high tackle, and the Port Adelaide Rover will get a free kick from the centre circle to set the Magpies into attack. Kick is wobbling short. Micken back in defence. He's an experienced player, knows just how to, or where to place himself. That's his 4th mark. As he comes out wide to Blythe, he in turn finds Fitzsimmons. Back side of centre wing. Looks for a runner. Kennedy through with pace, runs himself into a corner. McKinnon's going to have to work hard. Ricochets back now for Buckley on the half-back line. Has time to have a look with the left leg, goes long, but not very accurately. Jennifer gets it further forward. Micken back in defence. He's got time to have a look. Goes in short. The kick's a shocker. Don't know who he was looking for. Kennedy through. Slipped the handball back and finally had to pick it up himself. Now Blythe. West Adelaide uncertain as they go forward to the half-forward line. Big leap there. Patterson in front. At the back was Bartsch. Hooks it out to Banfield. Banfield puts it out. Grosser going the wrong way. Needs support. Gets it out wide. Carlson should go back to Grosser. Doesn't want him. Puts it up for grabs. Mellor at the back of the pack. He's got it. Well shepherded by Modra. Kept out Delaney. Modra read it the best, and he's got it about 5 metres out.
Well, it was a very subtle shepherd by Modra, wasn't it? Just kept Delaney at bay enough, didn't overdo it to upset the umpire. And Mellor, once again, this real opportunist. He's a danger up forward.
Delaney not happy. Mellor, the angle is evident, and he sneaks it through. Goal number 3. And Roger Delaney is less happy now as West Adelaide ram on their 7th goal.
Well, I don't know who was standing Greg Mellor down there as we see Grosser bolting away using Carlson, who gets away from Hutton. Haven't seen much of Hutton. Carlson has absolutely bathed him so far. Here comes the kick in. It's 2 West Adelaide to 1 Port. Who's on Greg Mellor as we see that nice little bit of shepherding by Modra. And then we see Mellor pop it through for his 3rd goal. What a contribution at this point of the game.
So the Bloods out to a 19-point lead. 7-2 playing 4-1. And this could be a very important 10 minutes of footy in the outcome of this match. Kennedy, grandstand centre wing, feeds it out towards Simpson. He's met heavily by Rosonico. Great commitment by Matthew Simpson. Hand pass was smothered though. Enables down Smith in at centre half forward. Good tackle applied by Micken. Through comes Carlson to centre field. Now Fitzsimmons needs to sit. Great shepherding by Kennedy. Fitzsimmons sets up McKinnon. Outside 50 and the foot pass superb to Tony Modra. And he's brought back for 52, Robbo.
Well, so it should be. That's silly stuff from an experienced player in Delaney. Have a look. Good mark, Modra. It's all over. Big shove to the ground. Absolutely unnecessary. Jack Cale would not be pleased.
John, frustration creeping into the Port Adelaide defence.
So Modra, he's kicked 2, his 3rd kick coming up. Point blank range, and he puts it through. So Modra plus Mellor have been the killers for Port Adelaide in attack. And Delaney and Modri talk off the ball. And the Bloods move to 8-2-50. Port Adelaide 4-1-25.
There we see the ball coming in. Fitzsimmons has the supporting play and Robbie McKinnon. Time to have a quick look. Sees the charging Modra. Takes it in front of the eyes. Frustration, as Ian Day suggested, from the Port defence. This time Delaney. That meant 50 metres. And it's through for another goal. Well, what have we played? 12 and a half minutes in this term. West Adelaide have added 5, whilst Port Adelaide have not added a point.
At the bounce, Micken gets the tap away again. Kennedy through, northeast across, or ducks into the tackle. Play on is the call, could be holding the ball. Finally it comes out now. Coming out of defence is Buckley, kicks long to the half-forward line, but West Adelaide defence on top through Goss. Goss at centre half-back, who's been tried in a variety of positions for West Adelaide. Attack, offence, or wherever you like to call it. And he's now playing at centre half-back and doing it extremely well. Buckley, short. Setri, Port Adelaide need some sort of movement up forward. Up towards the half-forward line, Smith gives it across to Harris. Port Adelaide need one. Oh, but gee, Harris's kick with no pressure on him at all has gone out on the full, and that just about sums up Port Adelaide's forward play.
Didn't appear as though he really wanted it too bad, did he? It was popped across to him, and he almost didn't know what to do with it and put it straight across the face.
West by 25 points. Out of defence, Simpson. On towards Schumann, concedes ground. Back to a teammate in Hogg. Awkward kick to half forward. Well trapped there by Patterson. Great knock on to Banfield. Superb work. Here's Kennedy. Hand pass effective. Mellor 30 metres out. He chips and puts his 4th on the board. Great quarter of footy by West Adelaide. All set up by the brilliance of Paul Patterson inside the centre square. West Adelaide 9-2, Port Adelaide 4-1.
Well, you could see it emerging towards the end of the first term, and have a look at this. Brilliant tap on Patterson. Little short pass Banfield. There's support everywhere. Kennedy on and a flash to Mallory. Runs to within about 25 metres onto that favoured left boot. kicks his fourth. He's added 3 for this term. He kicked 1 in the first, and the Bloods are on fire.
John, you keep on asking who's on Mellor. Well, it's got to be Foster or Northeast. Whoever it is, it's Foster now. It could have been Northeast to start. One of them is simply not marking his man. Fellows gets the tap away. No advantage to either team. The ball goes back to Kennedy, having a good one. Tackles a little high, and he's going to get the free kick just to check side of the centre line. Michael Kennedy to put West Adelaide into attack again. Centre half back. Goes out wide towards the half-forward line. Patterson is out there. Phillips late on the scene. Jennifer in defence. Smallridge quickly onto the left boot. He goes to the half-forward line. Looking up there for Smith. Can't find him, or he gets the handball out. Mark Williams, who had a great first 20 minutes. Banfield through. West Adelaide off again. Banfield with that long raking drop punt up towards the half-forward line. Phillips thumps it away. Fiachi's back there to help.
Fiachi, ambitious hand pass, ends up with Fellows. Onto Delaney. He stabs the ball into half-forward. Now out the back, chance here for Blythe to mop up for the Bloods. Turns inside. That may be dangerous. He slung the hand pass out, and it comes to Winton. Long kick by Brian Winton to right half-forward. Patterson. Nearly a great mark. Phillips tidies up. On towards Delaney, and he stabs the ball to half-forward. Hutton's off. The Magpies into attack. It's been rare this quarter. Back there on defence is Goss. He's running out of room. Finds a teammate on towards Blythe, who spins his way out of trouble. Good work from Sean Blythe. The foot pass superb. Grosses away the skipper from grandstand centre wing to centre half forward. In front was Barch, and well, the free kick was there. He was held onto by Danny Hughes. Into the pocket he breaks. That's Modra. He's kicked 3, Tony Modra. Centering hand pass Fitzsimmons. He'll be met, breaks the tackle, snapshot, curling back, but not quite enough.
Oh, yeah, not quite enough, but lucky for the Port Adelaide defenders there. Fitzsimmons is normally the absolute opportunist. He kicks goals like they're going out of fashion, as he has a few words with Timmy Jennifer and George Fiachi.
I think it was a single-digit Churchillian gesture.
Oh, one of those.
Delaney kicks in. The lead of Buckley. Kennedy there with him. Oh, Buckley, fine mark. As has been offset, a fine young prospect. Off the half-back line goes long. Micken there. Smith too late on the scene. And Micken once again playing that back play absolutely superbly. Mark Micken, what a year he had for the Crows. In doubt on Friday with that pulled hamstring, but he puts the ball across the half-forward line, looking there for Patterson, who winds up with a football, gets it out, Barch, Mellor is at number 5, 30 metres out, shoots, goals! Number 5, West Adelaide on fire, and into double figures in the elimination final.
Well, we'll ask the question again. Who is standing that man, Greg Mellor? That's his 4th for the quarter. Patterson got it out to Barch. On to Mellor. Northeast trying to close down the gap, but not quick enough, as Mellor puts it through for goal number 5. What a quarter he's had. There it goes again. Onto that left boot. Pops it through. What a player, and West Adelaide are on fire. The centre line providing the drive.
Well, the Bloods have turned around a 5-point deficit to a 38-point lead in the space of 18 minutes of footy in the second quarter. McKinnon goes through hard. Also there, Carlson. Loose ball centre field. Mark Williams over it. Slapped out by Foster. Ends up with Hutton. In turn, Rosonico. Here's Buckley. Hurry kick to half forward, but under pressure. Behind the pack, Darren Smith slaps it forward. Chance here for Setri, skirting a pack. Snapshot by Adrian Setri, just wide. Well, nothing going right for the Magpies.
Well, you're absolutely right there. The build-up was good, but the pressure was immense from the West Adelaide defence as the balls came in. Have a look at the reaction, doing a bit of damage to the ground.
Yes, Port Adelaide can't take a trick at the moment. They're going to have to take one shortly. Winton must get a free kick. Frustration everywhere showing on Port Adelaide now. West Adelaide have taken Micken off. They've put him in the bunker, given him a spell. Darren Barch has come on to do some of the heavy work, will come into ruck as Winton centres the ball towards the half-forward line. Patterson! Oh, what a mark! Brilliantly done, Patterson. He's got Mellor in the pocket again. Off goes Modra on a long lead. Modra's going to get the lead. Thumps it clear. The danger man, Mellor. 3-on-1 there. Rosonico back to Phillips. Phillips on the left leg. I don't think he's done much with that one either. Thumped away. Jennifer just keeps it in play, but can't do so in the end. And it goes out of play. or goes out of bounds on the half-forward right flank, almost up to centre wing with West Adelaide in attack.
David, a superbly confident-looking West Adelaide at the moment. This is the way they've been over the entire second half of this season, and particularly last week. They're just carrying on where they left off.
Bloods by 37 points. Grandstand centre wing. Carlson, a poor kick, out of bounds on the full. So respite for the Magpies. Free kick in defence.
Well, it appears as though Paul Northeast has now definitely been given the task on Mellor. A switch was made just a while ago. So Foster has gone across to the other side, but it is Northeast who has the job of looking after the dangerous Mellor.
Phillips kicks to centre field with one hand. Kennedy. Through comes Buckley. Hurried kick. Rosonico. Did it cover the required distance? Play on the call as Foster provides the link play from half back up towards centre half forward. Goss the sit. Good mark from Glenn Goss. He's got a player loose in Banfield. And will that be 50? Kennedy provides the run. Loose players everywhere for West. In turn, Winton, who's a long kick for goal. 48 metres out, and he threads it through. Ryan Winton, his 7th kick, first goal, and West Adelaide kick their 11th.
Oh, and have a look at the elation and the confidence and the team-building processes. West Adelaide are on fire, there's no doubt about that. Look at Goss. Strength, good mark. Had a player loose in Banfield out there, but then the runners came through. Got it down to big Brian Winton. The second centre-half back has popped it through, and that's rubbing a bit of salt into the wounds.
Oh, John, they've got players at the drop of the ball. They're running everywhere. As David said in the call, they're just loose men all over the place. Port Adelaide can't find their immediate opponent. 11-3 to 4-2. That's a humongous lead. Barch gets the tap away, but it's Williams who sends Port Adelaide into attack up towards the half-forward line. Brother Stephen comes to meet the football, gets ridden into the ground and must get the free kick. Stephen Williams goes into Smith. He's on the loose, but intercepted once again brilliantly. Barch now edges West Adelaide out of defence up towards McKinnon. It's a loose ball. In goes Fellows, takes care of Patterson. Mark Williams again puts it out wide. Charts Port Adelaide now. No one's in the goal square. Smith short. In goes Setri, needs a bounce, tucked him into the pocket, has to hook around the corner, and he's hooked too far across goal, and it's out of play in the left full forward pocket. But once again, Port Adelaide make a mess of a very easy attack for goal.
Interchange taking place. See a player lining up on the boundary there in Mark Taylor. Port Adelaide have to get something happening up forward. He has been playing at full forward part of the year, so maybe he can help out.
Bloods by 43 points, but Port into attack, and a fist to clear by Grosser. Well, John, they haven't been disadvantaged by their lack of finals experience, West Adelaide, to date anyway.
No, not at all. But what is helping them is they're just carrying on from where they've left off during the latter part of this season. They're just growing in confidence as this game progresses. I mean, they got the run starting to happen towards the end of that first term, right from the very start of their second. It started happening. The engine room across the centre is what's providing most of the drive, and now the forward area is overcoming some of the strong defence of Port early and getting right on top.
Well, Kevin Morris did say their latter part of the season has been finals all the way. Carlson in defence. Loose ball there for the taking. As Matthew Simpson went in hard. Also David Brown with another player, Sean Blythe. Play goes on though. Life goes on. Rosonico, hand pass out of the pack to Brown. In turn, Mark Williams. Just inside 50. Long kick for goal, but doubling back is Bruce Lindner. Last line of defence. Long clearing kick to the far side. The target, McKinnon. Good fist from Foster. Here's Kennedy in support. He's played a great game, Michael Kennedy. He's away. Hand pass effective to Banfield. Ahead of centre, Peter Banfield to inside 50. And the mark taken there by Greg Mellor. No, the player is Fitzsimmons.
Well, he's another one of these players. You see him going low and taking that one. Firstly, he's out in front of the opponent. And secondly, he's getting that ball. That's his 4th mark. So you've got to be getting away from people to be able to do that. This is going to be his 7th kick. He's normally a real opportunist half-forward flanker. He's kicking from around about the 50-metre mark.
Fitzsimmons kick 1. 45 metres out. It's close. It's hit the post. So the Bloods move to 11-4. Port Adelaide 4-2.
Isn't it nice to have a couple of players up there you can rely on? Fitzsimmons kicked 5 last week, as we see Fitzsimmons again, but he kicked 5 last week against Sturt. So far, Mellor's doing the job today.
Mark Wharton comes on for Port Adelaide. Number 23, Nathan Buckley with the football. Using his body as Smallridge against Blythe, but he can't keep the football in play. It's all West Adelaide at the moment, 11-4 to 4-2, 24 minutes into the second quarter of the mothball final. Throwing at centre wing, Smith against Barch. Micton having a well-earned spell. He's played extremely well. Simpson searching for the ball, as is Smith. Gets it out now towards Hutton. In turn, Kennedy. Goss under pressure. Smith there with him. In goes Fitzsimmons. Tackles a little high. Umpire's letting the play go. Carlson gets it out. Kennedy comes through. McKinnon has got Grosser there if he wants him. Doesn't need him as he gets the ball in towards the half-forward line. West Adelaide doing the hard things and doing them well. Port Adelaide, in comparison, seems slow, and they cannot find a winner in attack. Just let's have a look and see. Oof, do you call that kicking in danger or not? Very lucky for Gary Smallridge. Throw in, half-forward right flank. In there is Fellows going through. Grosser can't get a kick away. Setri on the left leg, loose ball. Smallridge has to make a metre, but I think it's going to beat them all out of play, and that's the way it all ends. In the time on of the second quarter, it's West Adelaide by 44 points.
And Robbo, Smallridge's shadow has been Sean Blythe all day. He's done it pretty well.
He's done it real well because Smallridge has been one of the better players for Port Adelaide, talking consistency throughout the season, provided drive, but it's been cut off,
Grandstand centre wing, Kennedy in late. Also there, Sean Blythe looking for the boundary line. Hutton ends up with it. Hurry kick under pressure. And another very good defender has been Glenn Goss. Grandstand half-back flank. Centering kick, Banfield in front. Phillips forces his way through. Also there, Ginniver. Mark Williams, good hand pass to Rosonico and turn Wharton. Foot passes on, player loose in the square. It's Mark Taylor, walk in goal, should be. Oh, well, he was pushed off it late there by Goss, but the goal anyway to the Magpies. Smith has a chat, they compare notes, but 6 points for Port Adelaide.
Comparing more than notes there at the moment. It is 6 points to Port Adelaide, and while the boys sort themselves out down there, I think it's interesting to note that Taylor recently came onto the ground and went up forward. Here you see the replay. Good work around the centre of the ground. Wharton, a lovely kick in towards Taylor. He turns, lines them up, takes his time, gets the kick underway just as Goss arrives. What appeared to be at the right time. As he got the kick underway, he gets met. Bang.
In the replay, I can't see why anyone was getting upset about. Really, there was nothing in the bump at all. Port Adelaide got a goal that they needed, and the statistical fact, it's their first goal for 40 minutes. Port Adelaide or West Adelaide into attack again through Fitzsimmons. Up towards Modra. One grab, two grabs! Well, the umpire said play on. He thinks he's marked it, but the umpire doesn't. Oh, the umpire says no, it was touch. Let's have a look at it again. 1, 2, 3 grabs. Well, the umpire doesn't agree. Umpire Michael Abbott puts it down. Thumped away towards Wharton on the outer side. Flanked there by Setru, gets it next. Byrne can't catch him. They grab a one up to the ebullient Kennedy. He's at centre wing, goes in short. Fitzsimmons clear. He can kick in long, looking to set up the play on the lead. Now it's Modra this time. Oh, big mark. Huge mark to the West Adelaide full forward, and they have got several options up there, John Robinson.
They certainly have, and Tony Modra reminds me a lot of a former West Adelaide full forward in Roger Luders, particularly with that type of marking out in front, a strong leap, strong hands. He's got 3 goals already, so they've got several forwards. They've got all sorts of options for kicking goals.
The man from Renmark puts it straight through the middle. He boots his fourth. West Adelaide go on their merry way in the elimination final, 12-4-76 to Port Adelaide's 5-2-32.
As we've just suggested, they have plenty of options. The brilliant Kennedy out on his centre wing. He's done great things. Fitzsimmons has played well also. He sets sail and places it beautifully for the charging Modra. Look at that, strong grab. One grab, and that's the way to do it as he kicks on that southern goal and pops through his fourth. Just imagine if Fitzsimmons had his straight kicking boots on today, well, they'd be in all sorts of trouble.
He's kicked 1-3, Fitzsimmons, but West lead by 44 points. Grandstand centre wing, Winton with pace. He's outnumbered 3-1. Setri can't gain the footy. Ginniver back towards Foster. Left foot kick to half forward. Now here's Schumann knocking it forward effectively to McKinnon. Through storms Banfield. Loose players everywhere. Winton draws the player. Over the top, ball sits beautifully for Carlson. From right half forward, he pulls it back. The target, Modra in front. Phillips from behind, Simpson lurking dangerously, but it's fisted clear. Here's a chance for Hughes. Good desperation in defence. Wharton back there. inside his defensive 50. He clears long. The target Brown on the far side of the ground. He has to contend with Banfield. Kicks around the body to open space. In the path here of Rosonico, harassing his barge. But Rosonico earned the free kick. Out of side centre wing.
Tack side of centre wing. The 53-game Port Adelaide man, formerly Collingwood in the VFL, chips a pass away to the lead of Tyler. He's given them something to shoot at, but Simon Byrne, who appears to be playing in defence now, he takes the mark at centre-half back. Kicks long. Fellows is going to get the sit on this one. Can't bring it down. Hughes a little slow. Kennedy through again with pace. Kennedy on the half-forward line. Oh, he can't find the handle. Tripped. Play on is the call. Sweeping handball. Patterson. Oh, he can't find it either. He's lost it. Taken away by North East. Kicked high back up to centre field. Well taken, Peter Banfield. No, that is Dean Schumann. Schumann brings it out wide towards the half-forward line. Waiting his opportunity out there. Fine mark, Fitzsimmons. Into the pocket goes Winton. He gets leads from everywhere. Modra on a lead. Doesn't want him. Going to kick long. Put it up for the big one. Patterson uses his body well and takes a fine mark in the right full forward pocket. Well, they've got Modra, they've got Mellor, they've got Patterson. And when the ball comes to ground, Fitzsimmons, McKinnon, Grosser, West Adelaide doing it so easily.
Well, they've got it all happening for them, haven't they, Ian? They've got options all around the ground, and Fitzsimmons, who kicked the ball in, he's had something like 10 kicks throughout the game so far, so his contribution has been immense, and he's missed a couple of goals that normally he would swallow up.
Patterson with kick number 5, 30 metres out, straight through the middle, and that is home for all money. Patterson gets his first. West Adelaide at 13-4 to 5-2 in the elimination final.
Well, there's no doubt about it. West Adelaide have absolutely run amok in this quarter. They've kicked 10 goals too, while Port Adelaide have added just 1 goal. And as you see the ball coming in, Fitzsimmons, who's picked up many touches, coming up for his 10th kick, considers the options, just thinks about it for a while, then puts it into the path of the leading player. Patterson uses the body strongly against Danny Hughes. In the strong hands as he pops it through for his first.
And the siren sounds for half-time. Brilliant quarter of footy by West Adelaide. A 10-goal term, and they lead by the half-century, 50 points. The Bloods at the long break, 13-4, 82. Port Adelaide, 5-2, 32.
West Adelaide in control of the elimination final, leading by 50 points as we commence the second half. Down by 5 at quarter time, they had a 55 turnaround. Banfield edges the ball towards the half-forward line. McKinnon thumps it further in towards the half-forward line of Fitzsimmons. Phillips back there for Yachi, and now the running player is Wharton's. He chips the ball along. Small ridge is there, Brown it is, but the ball was out on the full, and the penalty free kick will go the way of Sean Blythe, who's doing an excellent job in negating the effect of Smallwood. Micken had a fine game. Thought about Winton. Not all that flash on the leg, but he gives Winton the ball now as the long striding one boots long to the half-forward line. It's not one of his better kicks. Phillips covers the ball easily and will send Port Adelaide out of defence again. 7th kick for Greg Phillips as he edges the ball towards centre field. Port Adelaide in trouble for runners, in trouble for players across centre, and they're going to have to lift immeasurably if they want to stay in the race for the 91 final. Rosonico back, used his body well, got nowhere to go now. He's got the ball underneath him. The umpire lets it go, and he'll have to ball it up eventually on the half-forward line of West Adelaide.
So 13-4 plays 5-2. The Bloods by 50 points. And Footy Park bathed in sunshine. Great conditions for Australian football. Fellows wins the tap, only as far as Banfield. Hurried kick off the right boot to open space. And Delaney needs a bounce. He kicks off the ground and straight to Leon Grosser. Well, it summed up Port Adelaide's second quarter in particular. Bit of size difference between Hughes and Grosser. He's not happy with the attention. You can see here a courageous mark, but the kick, a soccer one from Delaney. A blind kick to the grandstand side. 5th kick for Grosser. breeze from his left to right, but it's dropped here at Footy Park. The Bloods are against the breeze in this third term. 40 metres out, centering kick. He's coming back with a boot. Big pack up. Patterson from the side. What a mark. Well, he came into his own in the second quarter. A big pack flew. The best part of 10 or 12 players up. And Patterson emerges.
Yes, he had a clear grab on that. Floated in from the side of the pack. Got the hands around it. A little bit of a gentle sort of small fumble, but pulled it in again. Not a problem. But he started off in defence today. Little couple of indiscretions down there. Has been put up forward, whereas of course he's had a lot of experience this year, taking over at centre-half forward for West Adelaide for quite a bit of the season, so he knows how to kick goals.
5 metres out, he's kicked one, and he's offline. One behind. Well, he started his career at full-back, and with that kick, he may be heading down there again.
I think he lost his balance. Interestingly enough with Patterson, just pursuing that, John, was the fact that after that indiscretion that you mentioned, he was bunkered for a while, actually taken off the ground, and I just wonder whether or not it was that reason, but he came back on like a good player, and he's been a focal point in the West Adelaide attack.
So I think Kevin Morris has a habit of pulling players off from time to time. He has a quick little chat to them, just points out a few aspects of the game where perhaps they're not quite right, pops them back somewhere else, and it's worked out.
This one certainly played off. Well done, Lindner. Got caught in the end, but got the kick away. Michael Kennedy, he's had an excellent game, wearing black long johns, or short johns as they call them. Most sports these days ask that if you're going to wear that type of apparel, that it be the same colour of the shorts. Football hasn't caught up with that yet. Kennedy again bounces one in towards the half-forward line. Fitzsimmons uses his body, out positioned by Fiatchi. Here's a chance, or Lindner only got to get the handball out. Mellor, can he make it 6? Round one player, backed up McKinnon, 20 metres out, heads for goal and misses. Can you believe that? A dream run through the half-forward line, and McKinnon missed from 20 metres.
Well, the West Adelaide supporters can't believe it, but it's happened. And Robbie McKinnon, he'll never get an easier one in his sights than that one, but missed badly.
Blood still by 52 points. Mark on the outer side to Brown. To half forward. The target, Buckley, in front of Hogg. And a free kick's found. He was held on to, Nathan Buckley. Started well in the first term. Dropped out of it in the second. His 10th kick coming up, Nathan Buckley. We can see there the free kick. The player erring was Alan Hogg, invited to play on. Long kick to centre-half forward. Micken in front, unopposed. Well, that's a lax defence, but in the end he dropped the mark. Big pack over the ball, and the umpire to bounce the ball. Left half forward.
Interesting quarter this one. Port Adelaide, third quarters so often are important. There we see Micken missing the simplest of marks. And he usually grabs so many, but an interesting third term. Port simply have to get into the game now.
Kennedy, hand pass sets up Hogg. Outer side centre wing to right half forward. Patterson in front. Outbodied there by Phillips, but illegally, said the umpire. Greg Phillips can't believe it. The look said it all. Well, it was an obvious free kick. Patterson right half forward. Long kick. Barts the target. Outnumbered 2-1. Mellor lurking dangerously. He's kicked 5. McKinnon, can he mop up for that mistake moments ago? Fiatchi in defence. Under pressure. Centering hand pass Ginniver. On towards Rosonico. They're messing around on defence, Port Adelaide. Here's Foster. Over the top, draws the player, Wharton. Grandstand halfback. Looking to lay off the hand pass. In the end, the kick to half forward. Lindner, the only player there, but the boundary line wins out at right half forward.
Well, you mentioned messing around down there in defence, Dave. I don't know if it's that so much, or it's just the sheer pressure put on them by the West Adelaide players. And you finally saw that kick into the forward line. Absolutely to nowhere. I think Wharton's only option was to get it towards the boundary line so they could regroup.
West Adelaide by 52 points, 6 minutes into the second half. Half forward line, Port Adelaide. Good tackle there late on by Simpson. Wharton couldn't get the kick away. Another throw in. 13-6 to 5-2. West Adelaide with a 10-goal second quarter. Unbelievable stuff. At the throw in, Winton holds ground, or Micken it was, towards Grosser. Gee, had an airy. Simpson now with a chance, hasn't got the football, still works hard, 3 on 1. But once again, the ball is forced out of play. Port has got to do something. They've got to start winning the centre square. You wouldn't exactly call it a monumental kick, would you? Port have got to do something. They've got to start winning some kicks across centre and get some numbers at the drop of the ball. And not kick like that, although Linda's going to have to work hard. Smith comes to meet him. Well played, Linda, if it comes off. Oh, left it behind, did Goss. Umpire says play on. Smallridge, open goal. And he hits the aluminium. Well, Port Adelaide cannot take a trick. I've said it before and I repeat myself.
Well, absolutely. The ball finally came out his way out to some good hustling work by the Port Adelaide attacking division. He's picked it up, open goal, he's hit the post. What more can you say?
13-6 plays 5-3. West by 51 points. Here's Darren Carlson, one of the Bloods' best. Outside half-back flank. Looking for Hogg. Good fist from Buckley. And the contest ends up with the boundary throw-in. So 84 playing 33. A big lead to the Bloods, courtesy of that 10-goal second term. Big crowd here at Footy Park. Perfect conditions. Micken must be a free kick. Well, that just undisciplined ruck work there by Ben Harris. Just stranglehold on Mark Micken. Nothing but a free kick. Here's Carlson. Right boot effective to half forward or centre wing on the outer side. Foster. Fitzsimmons with pace. Has to contend with Phillips. And it's just rolled out of play.
Yes, very close, wasn't it, David? Unfortunately, he's just popped the ball over the boundary line. But West Adelaide, as we've said before, that second term, brilliant 10 goals. They're full of run. They're full of confidence. Port Adelaide have to do something special. They're going to generate things across the centre and get some winning players up forward. They just don't seem to have the scoring ability at the moment. Well,
their on-ball players have appeared to be outplayed convincingly by West Adelaide's on-ball players. And that's one of them in screen. Matthew Simpson. So the bounce on the outer side centre wing. The Bloods lead by 51 points. Patterson works his way to the front. Palms it wide to Fitzsimmons. He kicks up to half forward to open space. First to it will be Delaney. Needs a bounce. Clean bowls Roger Delaney. Through storms Hughes. He kicks to half forward, but no real vision in the kick. Blythe knocks it back effectively. Here's Kennedy. Fakes the hand pass. In the end lays it off to Blythe. Needs support. Micken. Back towards Kennedy. They're not gaining much ground. Poor kick. His first mistake really, Michael Kennedy. Wharton puts the Magpies to inside 50. Williams from the side. Fisted clear. Michael Kennedy lost his footing. Through storms Lindner. And good defensive tactics. He sought the boundary line and he found it.
Well, it was very positive work there by Bruce Lindner on that occasion for West Adelaide. Have a look. Determination. Let's get that ball out of here as Timmy Ginniver uses him as a bit of a step ladder.
Williams towards the line. Port Adelaide not making any headway at the moment. Here's a chance. Smallridge. Maybe he's moved. He's inside 50. Smith gives a lead now, but the kick is not good. Coming to meet it and doing it well is Goss. Goss puts it back. It's all Port Adelaide there. Harris in front of the in front of the pack takes the easy mark. Ben Harris, who's been used from the interchange bench. He started in the opening 18, but has been put there from time to time on the bench. Mark Micken at centre half back looks for the running player. He likes to handball rather than kick. Maybe it's just protecting his muscle. Ross is going to have to work hard here. He did with Kennedy. Well done, Wharton, as he hooks around the corner. The bounce will determine. Coming to meet it is Schumann. Smallridge well played. Shrugs the tackle. Port Adelaide into attack again. Not a bad looking kick. Goss getting back. Oh, and I think he either touched it or hit the post. But whatever, it was good defence. Or fortunate defence on the behalf of West Adelaide.
Certainly was. Smallridge, as you suggest, has been taken out of the centre and put up forward more. And that was a clever kick from him on that left foot. But Goss just getting to it in time.
Simpson in defence. Clearing kick from the side Micken. But the mark was paid to Ben Harris. Former Bears teammates.
The big man department is where West Adelaide have generally been on top. Mark Micken they're trying to spoil. He's grabbed 7 big ones. And as far as Darren Barch is concerned, he's helped control the airwaves.
Harris, his third kick to half forward. Lurking as Brown. He's been very quiet. Spins and shoots towards goal. Not a bad sort of a shot for goal. And he's kicked the goal. His 5th kick. First goal, David Brown. The Magpies edge back. 6-4-40. West Adelaide 13-6-84.
Yes, well, a lot of applause there from the Port Adelaide supporters. They've been quiet for quite some time. And David Brown, well, he's been knocked from pillar to post today. There you see him at the front of the pack like a small player should be, bursting away and hooking back well on that natural left foot. And lobs it right on the line, puts it through for goal. Much needed one to Port Adelaide, but they're going to need a heap of them.
You're not wrong. 13-6 to 6-4 at the bounce. Micken against Ben Harris. Smith at full forward. Once again, Port Adelaide take it out of the centre. Back in defence, it's Schumann. Well played out to Winton. Thought about Hock, but kicks long. A long kick towards the half-forward line. Patterson's there with Phillips. Loose ball. Mellor's going to be Banfield. Oh, well done. Showed a lot of courage. Gets the ball back to Fitzsimmons. Out comes Modra! What a pass. Fitzsimmons to Modra. No one in this wide world could have cut off that pass. And the West Adelaide full forward has got a chance from 35 metres out.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. But what about the courage and determination of Peter Banfield to set Fitzsimmons up in the first place?
Tony Modra, cool under pressure. The umpire does not move a muscle, except to indicate that goal number 5 is on the board to Modra. And West Adelaide are 14-6 to Port Adelaide 6-4.
Well, 5 to Modra, 5 to Mellor. Shane Fitzsimmons and a couple of other players have picked him up around there as well. But what a great effort. Look at Banfield. Knows the player's coming, rides the bunt, keeps the ball crooked under the arm, gets it out to Fitzsimmons. Just look at the pass. Stabbed it brilliantly to the fast-leading Modra. And he's gone back and popped it through for his 5th. Brilliant football.
Well, the Bloods on-ball players are becoming very Tony Modra conscious. West Adelaide out to a 50-point lead once again. Soccer off the ground by Setri to half-forward. Schumann in defence. Opposed there to Geneva. Good determination from Dean Schumann. Left boot to the outer side, looking for the boundary line, and he finds it. It's Leon Grosset and John Carl with Brian Fairclough. And they wouldn't be happy. John Carl has never finished the Port Adelaide side below 3rd place. And he's staring defeat squarely in the face. Ben Harris, outer side centre wing to half forward. Smallridge can't gather. His target, or his shadow, I should say, is Sean Blythe.
Well, he has been all day. When Smallridge started in the centre, Sean Blythe was right with him. Smallridge has moved into the forward line now. Blythe is right with him again. Good move.
The bounce just wide of the point of the square in attack for the Magpies. Geneva, hurry kick into a pretty ineffective forward line for Port Adelaide. Hand pass from Smith, set up Smallridge pretty badly, but he was tackled high. Well, no, there's a free kick now, or there's a 50-metre penalty against West Adelaide. That wouldn't please Kevin Morris one bit.
Yes, interesting to have a look at that, because Blythe put that tackle on straight away. Have a look at it. There's the shadow. Took him to ground. Oh, I don't know. Was that too high or what? Then there's a bit of fighting and bustling going on. I think that's one of those ones for me. You make your decision. I think he was a bit lucky. Well,
there's been 3 very technical 50-metre penalties. Smallridge, and he pulls back the margin to 44 points. He kicks his first. The Magpies move to 7-4, 46 West Adelaide, 14-6-90.
Well, Sean Blythe has absolutely shadowed him all day today, Smallridge. Here comes the handball from Smith. Blythe wraps him up in a strong tackle, puts him to ground. The whistle blows. They've given it for in the back or something, I would suggest. Then the following 50-metre penalty brought him right to the line. No problem popping it through.
I would query the 50-metre penalty. I think Laurie will choke on his cornflakes in the morning when he sees the replay on that one. 14-6 to 7-4 at the bounce. It's going to be Micken against Ben Harris. Good bounce by the umpire. Micken gets the tap away in towards the half-forward line. Banfield comes out with the ball. Kennedy with pace through. 50 metres, goes for a long one. It's going to be touch and go. Well done there by Delaney, joined by his mate Piarchi, and they get out of trouble. And it's Brown on the half-back line, who's got time to get round Fitzsimmons. It hooks the ball back towards centre wing. Micken's back there, goes for the spoil. McKinnon, Banfield, runs Patterson into trouble, gets the handball out, but Setri intercepts. Harris of Port Adelaide has time, kicks high towards the half-forward line, setting himself as Lindner, ought to take the mark, and the umpire pays it that way.
Bruce Lindner. And it really wasn't, if it wasn't paid, it would have been an open passage for Port Adelaide. Left half-back, he's been given the defensive duties. He had a small arthroscopic operation a few weeks ago. His 6th kick coming up. Defensive role for Lindner this afternoon. Mellor, who's been dangerous. He's kick 5 from left half forward. The lead provided by Barch in front. The second attempt mark wasn't paid. Through storms Patterson. He's got a player loose in Kennedy. Sweeping hand pass. Michael Kennedy with natural pace stabs into the pocket. And Mellor, he could have played on. but he took the preferred option, a set shot for goal.
It's a fight on behind play there. There you see the little pass going into Mello, has the habit or the ability of getting out in his own, but there's a fight on behind play. That was Barch and Danny Hughes after they contested a mark a little while back. They went to ground, had a little tete-a-tete, and other players came to join in. But the action is with Greg Mellor lining up for goal number 6.
5 marks, 10 kicks for Mellor. The angle apparent, and he threads it through for number 6. What a great performance on the forward line for Greg Mellor, the youngster. 15-6 plays 7-4 after 18 minutes in the third term.
Yes, Greg Mellor has a great ability to get out in his zone. There you see Patterson with the long, searching handball. Finds Kennedy at the end of it, gets himself out of a little bit of bother. Look at the little left foot pass. Greg Mellor all on his own. Where's the defenders? They weren't there once again. So he lines up and kicks his 6th goal.
West Adelaide resume their 50-point half-time advantage. 18 minutes into the second half. Ginniver can't, or does get the kick away in the end, in towards the half-forward line. Hutton put his teammate into trouble, and the umpire will come and bounce the ball marginally in Port Adelaide's attacking division. 15-6 to 7-4 in the elimination final. Port Adelaide staring defeat in the face. At the bounce, Micken gets the thump away. Chance Banfield got a beautiful sit on the ball, puts a long one in. Out comes Modra again, thump clear. Oh, here's a chance now. Patterson gets it out wide. Cross the point blank range, home again. Yes, sir. West Adelaide have got 16. Ross has got 1. And they're pouring on heaps in this elimination final.
Well, the little captain has certainly got a lot to celebrate. Peter Banfield picking up a lot of kicks in the engine room. Up forward, out comes Modra, cannot take. Patterson, it fell nicely for him. Pops the handball out to the captain, and he's full of glee as he pops that through for his first. Little captain courageous. He's doing it well.
Well, he had a premiership in 1983. And it looks like he's got an elimination final in 1991. Centre field, hand pass out of the pack by McKinnon. Buckley, here's Ginniver. The Magpies need to lift. Hutton, been very quiet from right half forward. Outside 50, long kick to goal. Wharton the target, or that's Tyler in fact in the square. Back there is Winton, and the option was a good one. The rush behind.
Well, once again, the positive action by the West Adelaide people all around the ground. A lot of pushing and shoving. Tyler couldn't hang on, so Winton said, I'll concede a point. Get it out of the danger line once again as he gives the opportunity to Goss.
Acting as custodian at the moment. Winton comes grandstand slide. He's got the height of Barch, who got edged out from underneath the ball. I think Ben Harris knew that and immediately gave that not too subtle push. Yes, it's definitely there. Barch to Patterson, playing extremely well. Banfield, gee, he's having a good day too. Floats one in towards the half-forward line. The bounce could determine this. Hughes through. Oh, the ball comes out there to Byrne. Now it's McKinnon. McKinnon from 40 gives this one a ride, but I think he's offline again. Well, McKinnon hasn't had a good afternoon inside the 50-metre. 2 easy shots, both have missed. 4th kick, and none of them have been all that accurate.
He had some players loose, Robbo.
Yeah, he hasn't had a good day, Robbie McKinnon, in terms of goals. He's missed 2 easy ones, but geez, one of those players you'd pick almost one of the first in your side. He's full of courage, full of go. 58-point lead to the Bloods. Mark Williams doing some hard work at ground level. Here's Carlson. Hand pass sets up Kennedy, former Brisbane Bear teammates. Stabs it in towards Modra. Couldn't take the mark on the second attempt. He's doing some knocking work in the forward line. Williams' kick was smothered well. Player again was Modra. In defence, Wharton, but the Magpies under pressure. And a holding free kick on Gary Smallridge, who's away. He's got to play loose. The lookalike and David Brown. Too much carry with a kick. Good work from Bruce Lindner, who's lifting his 7th kick to half forward. Mellor in front. And the vice-like grip of Greg Mellor. 6 goals to his name. And pushing for best on ground. Absolutely. Have a look at that in front of Paul Northeast, and he's no slouch when it comes to defence. He makes you earn every ball. But Mellor has got away from him throughout this game and picked up heaps. As you say, David, he's kicked 6 already, lining up for another one. But he's a long way out. And
he stabs it in towards the space. The lead provided by Patterson. Numbers at the fall of the ball, West Adelaide. McKinnon, but a pack develops. and the bounce to occur inside 50 for the Bloods.
Greg Miller across that half-forward line kicked 4 goals last week, so that's 10 in 2 outings thus far, and there's still a quarter and a bit to go as we reach the 22-minute mark of this third term.
West Adelaide in control. Mellor flips it back. Here's a chance now for Banfield. He shoots for goal, but once again he's offline. Only a point, and he's had a fine afternoon. That's his 11th kick, and he's had 12 handballs, 23 possessions midway through the third quarter. Is indicative of just how on top Peter Banfield is. The kick in now by Delaney comes out wide. Kennedy's got the pace, but Wharton has got the skill to get to the ball, and Cashley puts it out of play at centre wing.
There's another example just there, and we've seen plenty, David Bashir, where players from Port Adelaide have received the football, they've looked up, they've had nowhere to go with the ball because their teammates are just out of position.
Boundary throw in, grandstand centre wing. Kennedy, spiral punt kick, and it falls fortuitously to Shane Fitzsimmons. His 7th mark. Lead provided by Modra, beautiful pass, and Modra takes it gratefully inside 50.
One of the highlights of this game, and it's come from the West Adelaide side, has been their ability to use the ball short and place it right for players, as we just saw Fitzsimmons do. We've seen Kennedy and several other players using the ball very effectively over short distances on a lot of occasions, and that's good to see.
Modra kicks from right on 50. He times it pretty well against the breeze. Had the carry, but the accuracy a problem. So the Bloods move to 16-9-105, Port Adelaide 7-5-47.
And young Modra is a very exciting full forward up there, isn't he? The way he moves around.
Certainly is. He's rather a reluctant player for West Adelaide too. He felt like playing in Mildura at one stage this year, and West Adelaide had to convince him to come and play for the red and black. So just as well they did for them. Grosser gets it across to McKinnon, sets it up again. Simon Byrne in the pocket, thumps the ball clear. Carlson 40 metres out, tries to hook around the corner. Oh, this is Byrne now. Big leap by Byrne. May have given away the free kick. Oh no, it's Fitzsimmons, and he's going to bounce the ball across the face of goal, and in actual fact it's 1 point only.
Greg Miller wouldn't be too happy with his teammate there. He's in the square almost on his own, and I think he's just saying to Greg, I'm sorry.
Too late now.
58 points the margin. Ginniver accepts on the far side of the ground. Left boot to the outer side centre wing. In the path here of Brown. Great tackle applied by Linder. That was lightning quick. But it jars out of play and a boundary throw-in.
Well, that certainly was a strong tackle. Have a look. Wrapped him up around the body, clung on tight, and then appealed for the kick. So, you know, how keyed up are these West Adelaide players?
Linder was fairly clear what he thought the decision ought to have been.
Mark Williams gathers the loose ball. Long kick to inside 50. Out comes Tylor. Doubling back Schumann. Also Winton, who's really lifted, especially in the second quarter. Brian Winton in defence. The short pass was on to Linder. Hand pass over the top. Here's Hogg. Loose men everywhere for West Adelaide. From half back to right half forward. Patterson in front. And it's forced out of play.
Well, Greg Phillips there doing the spoiling work against Patterson. It's his 300th senior game for Port Adelaide today. It's not going to be one he's going to remember for a victory, I don't think, Ian, but certainly 300 games for his club is a great effort.
Couldn't agree more. Throw in centre wing. Grosser again. Simpson in tandem. Grosser through the half-forward line. Sets it up from Simpson. 45 metres out. Gives it a ride. The umpire does not move again. Kick 9. Goal 1. West Adelaide have got 17 and are careering away with the elimination final in the first game at Football Park.
Well, Matthew Simpson across the centre there has been one of a trio of players that have provided all the drive. Here he's skirting his captain, Leon Grosser. Receives it with great confidence. Goes onto that left foot straight at goal. He's put it through for his first, but that combination across the centre has been the real prime movers in this game for West Adelaide.
There's a graceful mover, Matthew Simpson. 1 goal to his name. He joins a long list of goal scorers for West Adelaide. Setri puts the Magpies into attack. Slapped forward there by Barch. Effective work to Carlson. Here's Simpson. Banfield, the hand pass was loose now. A player was disposed of, Matthew Simpson. So the free kick. We can see here Fellows, very loose tackle. Now, a player on the outer side has ridiculous space. Leisurely bounce. Take a second. Fitzsimmons, third. No?
What's happened is the shepherd was outside the required distance. You're only allowed a shepherd now something like 3 metres, and of course the shepherd was too far out and the umpire called illegal shepherds.
Too good to be true for West Adelaide. Mark Williams on towards Setri, who's under pressure. Over the top, Hutton brings in Mark Williams again. Forced onto his left side, pulls it back to half forward. And Tim Geneva, a courageous mark. Well, they trail by 65 points, the Magpies. You can see there Geneva, but Schumann's done well on the Rovers. Both Brown and Geneva.
Boy, Schumann, yeah, he's a real tiger down there. He's one of those defenders. When you see a few of them around, they hate that opposition player to get a kick, and they'll do anything that they have to. But Schumann, with sheer determination, just is like a dog at a bone.
Geneva will kick from right on 50. Tries to get around Schumann. That was ambitious, to say the least. Buckley's kick was smothered. In defence, Winton. And the clearing kick to the far side. Foster opposed there to McKinnon. McKinnon outnumbered 2-1. Foster lays it off to Setri. Setri inboard. Here's Northeast. But lack of method by Port Adelaide. They work it to half forward. Wharton spills an easy mark. Lost his balance. Kennedy on hands and knees. Spearing hand pass out of the pack. Here's Rosonico. Carlson. The pack develops. And the umpire, well, he looked to ball it up, but to play on the call. Through Storm's fellows. Awkward kick to full forward. Tyler in front. Smith, and goal for the Magpies. Darren Smith kicks his first. And the Magpies edge back. 8-5, plays 17-10.
Well, it's been a long time coming, that goal. And there you see the harassment from the West Adelaide players, and there's strong tackles going in there. Finally, Wes Fellows breaks through, gets the kick in towards full forward, up the fingertips. It falls the way of Darren Smith, and he kicks his first. I think Port Adelaide would have been looking at Darren Smith to do a big job up there. There we see it again. Look at that tackle from Kennedy. That's determination if ever I've seen it.
The pressure, the fierce tackling from West Adelaide has been superb all afternoon. Line ball at the centre bounce. Fellows tries to get it out. Finally comes back here to Fitzsimmons. Uses the foot of Sean Blight to get the ball towards the half-forward line. Patterson can't. Needs a running player now. Slips it over here to Banfield. He lost it to Wharton. Wharton's lost it himself. Gets the handball away. Mark Williams through. Drives long towards Smith. Goss coming across. Big leap Goss. Not successful. And they've got time to come away through the boot now of Linda. West Adelaide all on their lonesome out here at centre wing. Kennedy has time to have a look. Byrne is short. That's the way the ball will go. Byrne from the half-forward left flank, looks for Modra. He's got Simpson short, but he's going in longer to give Modra the leap. Modra's up there, big leap, but Fellows back, can't get the ball out as well. Delaney goes off the ground, Northeast into the turf, Wharton over the top, Simpson fighting for the football, but umpire Laurie Argent will come in for the bounce inside West Adelaide's 50-metre line.
Once again, the effort of Simpson there, lost the ball after giving the tackle, then just dived in to make sure that it was a West Adelaide jumper controlling the football.
The Bloods by 59 points in attack for West Adelaide. Big thump from Hughes, only as far as Banfield, who stops and props and spears the pass into half-forward. Carlson, the run of it. He's got good pace too, Darren Carlson. The snapshot around the body, Byrne at full forward. A mark unattended, and that must really pose the question, why aren't Port Adelaide manning up?
Well, we've been saying it all day as Byrne looks to play on quickly, and I guess there's another example of not manning up as the little captain, Leon Grosser, in short, takes the mark and takes the knock, but he's dead square in front of goal and should post his second. But I guess we could ask that question all day, David. We've seen Mellor running around, getting on his own, Fitzsimmons likewise, and many other players. On that occasion, it was Byrne. There's a siren to end this third term, but the action isn't over yet as Leon Grosser lines up for his second.
The quarter running 30 minutes. Grosser's seventh kick and his second goal. On the siren, a big lead to West Adelaide. A 65-point lead at three-quarter time. The Bloods move to 18-10, 118. Port Adelaide 8-5, 53. The start of the final term of this knockout elimination final. West a commanding 65-point lead. Micken in the ruck. Stalemate as Simpson goes in hard. Also Kennedy. Pack develops, it's fed out to Hutton. Up towards half forward, the Magpies. Tylor at the second attempt, the mark was paid. So Mark Tylor from right half forward. He started on the bench.
Phillips at full forward.
Well, he kicked 5 on a wet day early in the season of the parade, but really has been an ineffective forward line. Tylor, and that is just a shocking kick. Out of bounds on the foot.
Well, you know, Port Adelaide, if they're going to have any chance of this game, they've got to do it right from the first bounce of this quarter, right? They've gone into attack. This kick like that ain't going to help the cause at all, Ian Day. And what can they do, if anything? I mean, they've just got to start generating the football more and using it more effectively.
John, all of West Adelaide's centre-line players have had more than 20 possessions. Port Adelaide simply can't win across there, and they can't win out of the square. Now, they've made moves. That's the only thing they can do to see if they can get a combination that can get them out of it. They've got Hughes now at centre-half back on Patterson. As I've mentioned, Phillips has gone to full forward. But in the meantime, it's Mark Micken who's pulled down yet another mark. Carlson boots the ball out of defence up towards the half-forward line or centre line. And there in fine mark has been taken centre field by Greg Muller. He's had a wonderful afternoon. Gets way on that left leg, puts it up for Tony Modra. Right there with him is Delaney. Patterson against Hughes. It's the battle of not all that quick players. Patterson goes too far. Courage has to get it back out. Here's a chance, West Adelaide. But it's Geneva to the fore. Runs the ball or runs over the ball. Rosonigo farms it out to Delaney, and Port Adelaide will get out of defence.
Delaney's got to play loose. Grandstand centre wing. Smallridge. He's away. And I would suggest that Sean Blythe, that's the furthest he's been from Gary Smallridge all day. He's knocked away from Smith at half forward. Setri keeps it in play, but it jars out. Well, the boundary umpire did well. He was about 30 metres away from the ball, and he really did read the play pretty well.
Yes, David, you mentioned Smallridge, and Blythe, his shadow of the day. He certainly hasn't been far away from it. I think Kevin Morris had done his homework well on that situation.
Smith, 40 metres out. Pulls it back to full forward. Phillips in front. Behind, good fist from Winton, who's got the pace advantage. In defence is Hogg. Another pack develops, and the umpire to separate play.
Big Greg Phillips playing game number 300 for the Maggies today. What a great effort from him. Started as centre-half back. He's been shifted up to full forward at the start of this final kick, but the big fella's only had 7 kicks today, and he's had about a half a dozen handballs.
In attack for the Magpies. Brown over the ball. And another pack, there's Dean Schumann, who's had the job on the Rovers in Brown and Geneva. Also Setri. And he's done it pretty well. Laurie Argent, the umpire. He's had 9 kicks, Dean Schumann. The bounce about 20 metres out from Port Adelaide's goal. Big pack up. Geneva, the snap out of the pack. Taken by Micken, who's had a grand game. And he clears to the far side, and it rolls out.
Well, the game has been set up for West Adelaide, Ian Day, in an exciting second term where they added 10 and they went on to add a further 5 in the third, but it's been typical of the way they finished off the minor round, and they're carrying it into the finals.
Looking very good at the moment as Tyler comes over the top. It's smashed back towards the half-back line there by Schumann, and it goes out of play. Just talking about the second quarter that John mentioned, in that quarter Mellor got 4 goals and Modra 3. West Adelaide totaled 10. So therein lies the story of the game, but Port Adelaide really hasn't looked like winning this afternoon. Geneva can't get clear, tries again. Over the top there comes West Adelaide. Getting back in defence is Goss. Brown with courage. In they go again. Mellor gets it out. Carlson back. Now it's Hogg. Goes out wide towards the wing where Michael Kennedy has an excellent afternoon. Carlson it is. Now Grosser is the running player, uses pace. He'll get round another Port Adelaide player in Wharton, drives long into the lead of Modra. With him there is Delaney. Modra coming through is Smallridge, who looks to be back playing centre again. Fiacci, supported by Delaney, dummied the handball, then gets it back to Geneva. He's going to have to work hard at centre wing. Against him is McKinnon. Did it well, runs into trouble, out of trouble, uses Smallridge. Port Adelaide with a chance to go into attack now. Up towards Stephen Williams. Cork thigh and all. He hasn't played all that well, but he's obviously been hamstrung, and Winton repels yet another tack, and he's another player who's had a good afternoon.
Here's Mellor, one of the stars for West Adelaide. 6 goals to half forward. Patterson in front. It's forced to ground. Chance for Patterson once again. Tackled by Hughes. Also there McKinnon. And Robbie McKinnon, really one of the players that has instilled the experience into West Adelaide, but they haven't needed it today.
Well, they haven't, no, and he also instills that hard, dogged determination, whereas the football there to be won, he's going to go in and risk life and limb just about to get the football, but no, their pace also, David, has been very telling.
Rosonico, aided by the Shepherd. From grandstand centre wing, up to half forward. Chance for Tylor from behind, good mark, good grab. He was a bench warmer for the majority of the first half, Mark Taylor. About 80 metres out. Long kick. Phillips in front. Chance there for Goss. Numbers at the fall of the ball, West Adelaide. Good kick. Great vision to centre field. Banfield's away. Umpteenth possession. His 13th kick, Peter Banfield. In fact, he's laid off the hand pass. I can't take a trick. Northeast into centre field. Smallridge. Bearing down was Mellor. Great tackle. Simpson on towards Kennedy. Foot pass into space. Here's Patterson. Up and under kick to full forward. Barch won our battle against Rosonico. One hand, Darren Barch needs support. Slaps it back towards McKinnon. But the Magpies with the numbers and Fiacci clears.
Out wide, Wharton on his lonesome. Has time to have a look. Sends Port Adelaide into attack. Up towards Tyler on the half-forward line, giving them something to shoot at. The running player is Brown. Phillips on the lead. That is brilliantly put. Oh, and even more brilliantly done there by Winton in the full-back pocket. Gee, I thought Phillips had that for all money.
Here we see it coming in. Taylor laid it off quickly to Brown. The pass was absolutely perfect. The big chest was coming at it, but the big fist got there just before. Straight out of bounds.
West Adelaide have made a move at three-quarter time, but let's have a look at Williams first. Or gets the handball out unnecessarily so to Setri, who has a flying shot, but he's offline for a point. And I thought that Mark Williams may have been in a better position to shoot for goal then than Setri. Just want to make that point, John. I see that they've made the move. Lindner is off, and they've brought on Gribble into the back lines, and he was the player that I missed a little while ago who got a kick when I picked it to be Mellor. But it is Adrian Gribble who's about to get the football.
He'll receive this one. He can give it on to Winton if he can get it going, because Winton's all on his lonesome on the centre wing, and they'll be away again.
So loose man in Brian Winton. Brings in Fitzsimmons, who's been effective in the forward line. Long kick by Shane Fitzsimmons. In front was Patterson. He stays the free kick. Wasn't forthcoming. Brilliant smother by Kennedy on Hughes. Slap wide. Here's Rosonico in defence. Pulls it back. Two players to choose from. One is Brown. The other Hutton. David Brown away. Up to half forward. Outlopes Mark Williams. No, that player is Geneva. Free kick found, but advantage paid. The loping strides of Brian Winton. Long kick to Kennedy, who's got some space. Michael Kennedy from 50. Awkward kick. Grosser from behind. He fisted it clear. Hughes back there in defence. Running out of options. And he clears. And it rolls out of play. So 18-10 West Adelaide. Port 8-6. It's the Bloods by 64 points.
So we mentioned pace, and West Adelaide have certainly had a big edge there. When you look at players like Danny, Hughes, Phillips and Coe, as far as Port Adelaide's concerned, West Adelaide have certainly had an edge.
Setri from the half-back line, too far for Fellows. Likewise, Micken, the big Fellows lumber back to meet the ball. Micken looking for the free kick, and the umpire, Michael Abbott, is sympathetic. He's got Fitzsimmons in short and/or McKinnon. McKinnon is the one, and once again, West Adelaide with loose men all over the place. McKinnon from about 75 metres. Modra on the lead. Delaney with him. Almost a good mark. In goes Brown. Setri, probably as good as any Port Adelaide player this afternoon, but the kick is a horror. Straight back to Micken. Micken in turn will go for the long lead of Grosser. Beautifully put. And the skipper's got the ball outside 50. Mellor goes in short. Kennedy gives him a lead. He's got Barch and also Patterson in the square. Barch goes off on the lead, but aborts, and finally he looks for Fitzsimmons. And once again, Port Adelaide is not prepared to do the hard work to cut off the leads. Shane Fitzsimmons played a very good game this afternoon. 16 kicks. Left full forward pocket has also got a goal. Hog off, burn on for West Adelaide as Morris can afford to ring changes, but the eye's right on Shane Fitzsimmons, who puts it straight through the middle. He boots his second, and West Adelaide are kicking themselves into the next round of the final. 19-10 they are. Port Adelaide is 8-6.
Well, with sheer enthusiasm, the West Adelaide side's prepared to run and make spaces all the time. That time it was the captain who bolted out to the 50-metre line and received the pass from Mark Micken. With his ninth kick, Leon Gresser puts it in. Well, he sits there waiting for options because he knows that he's going to have teammates running to positions. Sure enough, up pops Shane Fitzsimmons and several other players that made leads, and then he finished it off with his second.
7 goal scorers for the Bloods, and they lead by 70 points. Kennedy, good strength centre field. Hand pass, very good too, over towards Banfield. In turn, Carlson. There's the centre line combining. Long kick by Darren Carlson. Behind was Fiacci, and a very good mark. Lays it off to Rosonico. and he picks out Foster on the far side. Richard Foster draws the player over the top in the path here of Hutton, who's been noticeably quiet, and it's forced out by Kennedy. Out of bounds on the full. You can't really call that a mistake from Michael Kennedy. In fact, the free kicks from Kennedy. I thought it came off Hutton's boot, but the 50-metre penalty nonetheless to Michael Kennedy.
So I think we'll leave that one up to the boundary umpire. Dave is a bit closer than us, but I tend to agree with you. There you see Hutton. Oh yes, it did in fact just come off the toe of Hutton. A bit of a sleight of foot, that one.
So West Adelaide advantage by a 50-metre penalty. Shane Fitzsimmons. They lead by 70 points. And Kennedy coming up for his 18th kick. A great game from Michael Kennedy.
In fact, that entire centre line for West, they set it up right from the first bounce.
He shoots from just inside 50. Will it have the carry? It's got the carry, but the accuracy a problem. So one behind. West moved to 19-11. Port Adelaide 8-6.
We keep mentioning that centre line of West Adelaide Ian Day. It's been the absolute prime mover right from the first bounce, but then they've started getting forwards on top, running into spaces, and the defence has tightened right up.
Well, John, from your experience in your playing days, you know if you win the centre line and you win the centre square, you're going to win the game of football, and that's exactly what's happened this afternoon. Banfield's had a wonderful afternoon. He's still burrowing in for the football, and umpire Laurie Argent will come in to bounce on the half-forward right flank. 19-11 to 8-6. West Adelaide were down by 5 points, kicking into a rather stronger breeze than we've got now in the first quarter. But as we've mentioned before, that 10-goal second quarter said it all. Smallridge has fought himself back into the game, not doing a lot of damage, but he's at least giving Port Adelaide some chance. It was Wharton to the half-forward line, but Micken easy in defence. What riches West Adelaide has got for their big men. Here's the second one. You've got Barch, you've got Micken, and even Sean Wren to come back at some later stage if he gets fit. Fiarchi at centre half back, goes in short to Fellows. Fellows quickly on now to Setri, through the centre line, Port Adelaide into attack. A long kick up towards the mountain of Greg Phillips, out in front, up clear. Stephen Williams can't find the handle at the moment. Gets it back now towards Setri. Setri on the half-forward line will have a blazing shot, getting back on it. It's Goss, going to be close. Goss just got his hands to it, and Port Adelaide can only register 1 point. It takes them on to 8-7. West is 19-11.
So it's back to a 70-point lead at the 13-minute mark of the final term. Grosser, who's had his moments this afternoon, the captain, his 10th kick coming up, and a good one too. Miller dropped an easy mark, his first real mistake this afternoon. Slapped forward by Northeast. Here's Grosser again. Kick number 11, defensive side of centre wing, and he finds McKinnon. Two players that combined to win the Bloods' last premiership back in 1983. Carlson, foot pass into the pocket, lace out, it finds Tony Modra.
One of the highlights of the effort from West Adelaide. Not only have they been strong around the centre of the ground, they've used the ball very effectively.
5 goals from Modra, and what a shot from the pocket from Tony Modra. That is the goal of the day. Number 6 for Modra. Tight on the angle, the death pocket here at Footy Park. West Adelaide moves to 20-11, Port Adelaide 8-7.
John, it almost appeared as though that he put that up for grabs, that he's only kicking to the square, but he's kicked a marvellous goal.
We'll have a look at the kicking from Carlson to start with. I mean, that's a marvellous pass for a start. But Modra, he goes back. There's the 50-metre line. That's where he kicks from. He pops it underway, and have a look at it. Just bends back beautifully. Unfortunately, the outstretched hand of Brozonico couldn't quite make it.
At the bounce, line ball that one. Micken gets a second chance. Byrne comes to meet it, but it's taken away there by McKinnon, up to the lead of Modra again. But this time Fiarchi gets in front and takes a defensive mark. Port Adelaide from the half-back line. All West Adelaide there. There's 3 of them. Over the top came the big fellow and Patterson. Gee's made a difference at centre-half forward. They've taken the ball off him. And Patterson's going to get 50. Port Adelaide has not had a big afternoon in any shape or form. Lindner's about to come back into the action. I think Micken's going off. I don't know whether he's looking a bit proppy on that hamstring, but whatever, West Adelaide can afford to take the big fellow off at this stage. But in the meantime, Micken gets a huge hand from West supporters as well he might. A magnificent game under a cloud with injury, but he's given his all for the red and black Guernsey. But in the meantime, the eyes of the West Camp squarely on number 8, and he adds insult to injury and puts it straight through the middle again. He boots his second, and West Adelaide have got 21 in the elimination final.
Here's Paul Patterson's kicked his second, has come out of nine kicks. There you see Fiacci trying to clear. It's a good grab by Patterson, climbed high above him. Then he got the benefit of the 50-metre penalty, which means he kicked from just inside the 50-metre line, and he's kicked accurately, and this West Adelaide side is looking extremely good.
This is one big lead, 82 points to the Bloods. Fellows, the kick out of the centre. Chance here for West Adelaide. Patterson on towards Blythe. Grandstand centre wing up to half forward, off the side of the boot. Now in defence they rally with a free kick to West Adelaide's Miller, who was met by North East late.
There you see it. In fact, he was met off the ball. But this centre line of West Adelaide, we keep mentioning, they've picked up somewhere around about the 80 touch mark compared to less than 40 by their opposition. So that's where the strength has come from.
In defence for Port Adelaide, through Storm's burn. Nearly a collision course with Wes Fellows. Ends up with Banfield, 45 metres out, and he puts it through. What a great finishing effort by West Adelaide. Banfield kicks his second, and the Bloods surge further ahead.
Well, 22 goals is a heck of an effort. Have a look at the bodies going in hard. Smallridge working hard there too. Barch slips it out towards Banfield. He gets underway with his 13th kick and pops it through for his second goal. Good direct footy, straight at goal.
My memory fails to recall when I've seen a Port Adelaide so humiliated. And also West Adelaide are shaping up as a real premiership threat. There must be a fight on the stand, because all of a sudden the spectators are not looking at the football. They all rise to their feet as Fiacci gets the ball over to Geneva. The running player is Wharton. He wobbles one, but West Adelaide again in the van, and the defensive mark taken back there by Patterson. He appears to be having a run on the ball. Loose men galore over there. Simpson gets the ball over. Fitzsimmons will go for a run. He'll go in short now to Banfield once more. I don't know who's on that fellow, but they don't want to know him. Linder will get the set. Oh, he's up there, couldn't quite bring it down. Play on is the call. Socket off the ground, and that's another one. Modra boots his 7th, and West Adelaide go from strength to strength. 23 goals, 11 to 8-7 in the mothball semi-final.
Well, there's an infectious enthusiasm about them at the moment. Linder went up, Grosser overran it, Modra had one soccer, then another one, then third time lucky. It got into the air a little bit and he slammed it through, and that's goal number 7. What a fine effort from the young man at full forward. But West Adelaide, 23 goals, 11. To Port Adelaide, 8 goals, 7. They've absolutely ran away.
Well, Port Adelaide's highest losing margin, 114 points. They currently trail by 94. In to attack the Magpies. Chance here for Geneva. Over the top, Tylor. Big chance for inside 50. Long kick by Mark Tylor. And it's good. A goal. Face-saving goal. His second. And Port post their 9th at the 19-minute mark.
Well, and a lot of ironic cheers too from the people in the stands, which is unfortunate. But West Adelaide, yes, they've had the better of this day by a mile. There's no doubt about that. But Port Adelaide, always a side to be reckoned with in any season. They've had their problems throughout the year. Like always, they'll fight things out to the end, and Mark Taylor picking up his second. But it is a very good West Adelaide side that's going to storm further into this final series and cause some problems.
Mark Tyler started on the interchange bench, but he's about there. Port Adelaide's only forward since he's come on. The ball is edged forward there by Setri up towards the half-forward line, and Winton scoops it back. Smallridge now sets it up for Geneva on the left leg, goes in long, getting back on it is Phillips. He'll get this one down to Smith. Smith can't find it. Winton again, and he'll run away from Man Mountain. Phillips won't get in, but he won't catch him. Gets it out to the outer side. Gribble will provide the run. Banfield in the clear again as West Adelaide again go into attack. He puts out the long one. Linder in there. 1-2 grabs. Hasn't got the football. Delaney's there. Linder comes out with it, and a flying shot goes out on the full. Well, West Adelaide have showed some scintillating football this afternoon. Taking the ball from woe to go.
An incredible transfer of play by West Adelaide, but that's where you see the ball going. Look at the effort of Winton against Phillips, against Smith. Two big fellas. He wins out with strength and determination. Set up a brilliant move down the ground, which finished with the ball out of bounds on the full.
The Bloods by 88 points in attack for West Adelaide. Free kick to Port Adelaide's fellows. A ruck infringement. He's been out-rucked today by Barch, and in particular, Mark Mickett, the centre field fellows, but a free kick has been picked out. I think it'll go to Simon Byrne or Darren Carlson, one of the two. Carlson, in fact, he's been one of the better players for West Adelaide. From centre half forward, long kick, 60-metre kick. Modra, he's got 7. This will be 8. And he almost arrogantly bodied out the Magpie defenders.
Yes, there was a bit of pushing and shoving going in the pack, but good judgment as he put the hands up there, but it's play on now.
And he threads it through. Goal number 8. 6 marks to Tony Modra. And West Adelaide back to a 94-point lead.
Oh, what a performance by the young man. He kicked 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, and now 3 in the fourth as Carlson puts in the long bomb. Bit of pushing and shoving going in there, in fact, quite a bit. But Modra with strength. Then the attempt to play on, scooted around players and snapped it in truly. 8 goals, what an effort.
Couldn't agree more. In fact, it's been a good effort by West Adelaide all round. Can't see where they've lost a position. Can't see where they're in strife at all for the future games in the final. They're strong all over. Port Adelaide to the half-forward line. Schumann against Geneva. Coming through strongly as Simon Byrne needs a sit. The big fellow whips it out now. Winton, who's had a brilliant game, kicks long. Up towards the half-forward line. Lindner used his body well, but loses the ball to Rezonico. Port Adelaide player on the half-back line gets it back. Winton up again. Oh. Is he having a magic moment or is he not? But he's down. He's a little proppy. In replay, that's a fine one-grab mark.
His 15th kick coming up, Ian.
Not bad for a defender. Brian Winton from the Czech side of centre wing. Kicks towards the half-forward line. Thump clear towards the line. Tired legs are raised. There is Setri. With him is Lindner, who's back on the turf and playing out of the forward pocket. But the ball beats them all out of the line, over the line for a throw-in.
Tired legs is absolutely right. Have a look at the effort as they go in. There's big Brian Winton. He's had a real purple patch in this final quarter. But West Adelaide, 28 goals last week, 24 today. How good.
Fitzsimmons to Gribble, who started on the bench. Long kick. Modra's got 8. Back there, Delaney. And it's close to the line. And was that a push in the back? The umpire had a good hard look. But a boundary throw-in.
As we've just said, 52 goals in 2 games by this West Adelaide side so far, so they've got plenty in attack, a strong engine room, and they do well in defence.
Gribble did the ruck work. Kennedy, the chance to snap truly around the body, but could go out of play. One behind. The Bloods moved to 24-12, Port Adelaide 9-7.
24 minutes gone almost, and have a look at that scoreboard. Can you believe it? West Adelaide by plenty. Port Adelaide absolutely humbled. 12, maybe 13 of their last year's premiership side. But irrespective of what players that they've recruited, they've looked only a shadow of the side that went top in 1990.
Pace has been a big factor in the game today, Ian.
Yes, couldn't agree more. They simply haven't had the playmakers that West Adelaide has had. Their commitment hasn't been there, and West Adelaide has simply put on just a wonderful performance. Banfield gets through the packet again, sets it up for Carlson on the half-back line, kicks in long, out comes Modra again, back there is Byrne, hooks over his shoulder, Delaney getting back, will he make it? Yes, he does, momentarily. Fiacci will get it next. Port Adelaide have got a breather. Off the half-back line, short, Geneva, centre wing, Wharton is the running player, has to check side the ball. The bounce will determine. Well done, Stephen Williams. Tyler through, left the ball behind. Williams butters up again. Will go out wide. Here's a chance for David Brown. He's clear. Hutton ought to get it next. Oh, he's lost the handle. Chips over to Hutton. Hogg is going to spoil him. Have they lost it? Hutton again. Gets the left foot away. Kicked 4 last week. Darren Smith still can't take a trick. And off the fingers it goes through for a point. And I think he's going to get a free kick. Well, even the West Adelaide supporters couldn't be upset over all that. When you're leading by something like 15 goals. Let's have a look at Hutton's kick. In the meantime, it's Smith who gets the easy goal from point-blank range, and Port Adelaide get into the... We have just a little stripe in the full forward area.
Well, a very belated goal to Port Adelaide and to Darren Smith, but like always, they keep on fighting. There was Hutton's little kick coming in. You see Darren Smith sitting and waiting, and Goss definitely comes up the front. The big arm went out. That's an infringement, and Darren Smith kicks his second goal. But, well, now that we're about a minute at a time on, it's all over for Port Adelaide for 91, and West charge on.
24.